month in a bid to cut down on dog fouling. Owners who walk their pets without a lead in certain areas will face an £80 fine. More from Danny Bailey.
The new measures are being introduced by Central Bedfordshire Council in response to concerns about people not clearing up after their pets. The council say the aim is not to put people off owning and walking dogs, but to help make parks and countryside welcoming places for everyone. The orders take effect from Sunday the 19th of October.
Dozens of people who came into contact with a nurse who's contracted the Ebola virus in Madrid are being monitored for signs of the disease. The nurse is the first person in the current outbreak to be infected outside West Africa. A 29-year-old man is in hospital with serious head injuries after being attacked in a Luton Street on Saturday afternoon. The man was pulled from his car by two men in Douglas Road at 4:15 and was attacked with a hammer. He managed to drive himself to the Luton and Dunstable Hospital, but has since been transferred to Addenbrooke's in Cambridge. Police say they believe he knew his attackers. The state of police custody suites in Bedfordshire have again been criticised by a national watchdog. It follows an unannounced inspection with the Bedford cells closed as a result. More from Carol Abercrombie.
Inspectors from the Prison Service and Inspector of Constabulary were told that a new custody unit is now being built at Kempston. They welcomed that, but found that of the 26 recommendations made after a previous inspection, only 7 had been achieved. The report criticised staffing levels and highlighted that some children had to remain in custody as there was no provision in the area to accommodate them on bail.
In sport, Watford could be about to lose their third head coach in 6 weeks. Billy McKinlay looks set to leave the club after just over a week in charge. The Scot is being linked with the vacancy at his former club Fulham just 8 days after replacing Oscar Garcia at Vicarage Road. And in badminton, Milton Keynes made a losing start to the new National League last night with a 4-1 defeat at home to Surrey in front of the television cameras in Middleton Hall at the Centre MK. The weather, a cloudy start with heavy, perhaps thundery showers this morning. Some sunny spells later, a maximum temperature 15 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
So we know what happens now, but what happens after?
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
From 9.
The JVS Show.
With the big phone-in, the hottest topic of the day and your consumer problems. From 12.
Nick Coffer.
Travel writer Andy Yarosh has been to some wonderful places recently. He takes us on a tour of the globe today.
From 3.
Roberto Peroni.
I'm here with a roundup of the day's news, the latest travel and your stories.
From 7.
Three Counties Sport.
With live Football League trophy action as Luton host Crawley and MK Dons entertain AFC Wimbledon.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
What a great idea! A shoe built on blocks. I'll call them Blocker Boots. We'll sell 1 million. Blocker Boots, Blocker Boots, Blocker Boots, they're in fashion today. Blocker Boots are neat. They go with your feet. Blocker Boots are so high. They've made 1 million people buy. Blocker Boots, Blocker Boots, Blocker Boots, they're in fashion today. They're in your shops now. But selling fast. Buy Blocker Boots.
I like your coconuts. I think you're great.
Morning. I've just got the imp is within me today. I'm feeling impishness.
Well, don't let him out, for heaven's sake.
I'm feeling imposity.
Imposter?
Yes, that's it. Feeling naughty today. I'm also feeling mischievous. Oh, yeah.
No.
Today could be the day that this house of cards comes crashing down amongst our ears. Around our ears? Amongst a monk.
How many years have you got?
Hang on. How many years has Star Trek got? Not Star Trek, the man, Kirk. How many years has Captain Kirk got?
2.
3. His left ear, his right ear, his final frontier.
Oh.
That's what guys want from breakfast show, isn't it? Really, really crappy jokes. Isn't that what they want?
Go get my drum kit.
Hey. There was a nice bit in what was that film called? The Nut Jobs.
What?
The Walnuts.
What?
The Box Trolls.
Yeah.
Where one of them says a really bad joke and then the one-man band does a drum roll. Do you remember that bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was nice.
What's on the show this morning, Catherine Boyle?
All manner of stuff. I'll tell you what's on.
Yeah. I like the way you
what's on
fill.
now.
I like the way you fill, baby.
Miss Targets.
You feel good.
Eh?
What?
Miss Targets,
Yep.
Dog's Doings, and Paul Revere in your ear right here. So come near.
Oh, how queer!
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'm not going to give out the phone number at the top of the show because none of these saps phone in when I ask them to.
Sometimes do.
No. They don't. I work so hard. I work. Alice is here as well. Morning, Alice.
Morning.
All right, mate. Calm down.
isn't he? What?
She's got such a cob on today.
I haven't.
What's your beef?
I've got no beef.
What's your beef, Gloss?
No beef.
Beef, isn't there, Catherine?
There might be a bit of beef.
What's her beef?
It's your beef.
What's your beef?
I haven't got beef.
I can pretty much. I can hear it. I can smell it. I can see it.
I
can smell your
just
beef.
did a face there that suggested
I
there might be
know.
beef.
That face was very beefy.
Not have beef. I'm getting increasingly
Come on.
She's got a beef
beefy.
face.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, come on. Hey, listen. What's your beef? What's your beef? Come on.
I mean, if anything was going to get beef out of me, it would
Yeah.
be that
Yeah. What?
reasoning.
Okay.
But there's...
So, what's your beef? Come on. Tell us what your beef is.
I'm without beef.
Hey.
That's her beef. She's got no beef.
I'm a beef detector, and I'm a butcher, and I'm detecting beef. Come on, what's going on? What's your beef? Seriously, was it boys, girls? I don't know.
I put the song in that you...
Dear, okay, well, so right. So I think
That's not beef. That's prime rib.
I think she wants us to move on from the beef. Can you have a little girly chat with her and find out what the beef is, and then during the papers tell me on air?
Yeah.
Nice one. I'm not going to give you the phone number because you never call.
Long ago, certain place, certain time, you touch my hand on the way down to Emmeline. But if our paths never cross, well, you know I'm sorry, boy. If I live to see the seven wonders, I'll make a prayer to the rainbow's end. I'll never live to match the beauty again. Rainbow's So it's hard to find someone with that kind of intensity. You touch my hand, I played it cool, and you reached out your hand to me. But if our paths never cross, well, I'm not sorry, but if I live to see the seven wonders, I'll make a prayer to the rainbow's end. I'll never live to match the beauty again. The rainbow's end. So long ago, it's a certain time, it's a certain place. You touch my hand and you smile all the way that you held out your hand. If I hope and if I pray, ooh, and if I work out someday, if I live to see the seven wonders, I'll make a prayer to the rainbow's edge. I'll never live to match the beauty again. If I live to see the seven wonders, I'll make a prayer to the rainbow's edge. I'll never live to match the beauty
found out what the beef was.
What's the beef?
It's Billy McGinley beef.
Really?
Yeah, you know the head coach at Watford.
Oh.
He's left after just 2 games.
He's been there 6 weeks.
They just...
Billy McGinley, what? Watford, McGinley, what on earth is going on? They've been through like 4 or 5 coaches in three coaches in the last few...
In the space of 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
No wonder Alice has got beef.
What is going... Mate, I'm really sorry.
It's okay. You should... I mean, I'm a bit upset you brought it up, actually.
And that is bang out of order on my part.
But...
Guys, I will get out the phone number because it's actually quite serious. If you want to help... I've forgotten her name.
Alice.
Get over her beef about Billy McGinley leaving Watford, then 08459 455 555. You don't have to put them on air, Alice. You can just talk to them privately.
Thanks.
In your spare time after the show.
Thanks.
Work to do now.
I think Simon might be able to help with the Billy McGinley beef.
Really?
After 5:30 if you want.
We'll focus on that. Now on to slightly more serious things. Watford General has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for the 7th consecutive month. The National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, which for some reason still calls itself NICE and doesn't just swap 2 letters around and become niche, says 93% of patients should see a specialist within 2 weeks. Well, Watford did keep up with that from April to December last year, but in January it started falling behind. By July, it was only managing a very poor 11%. Catherine Boyler's got more on this. How badly is Watford General Hospital performing then?
Well, the West Herts Hospital's NHS Trust estimates that 130 people have had to wait longer than the 2-week limit there to see a specialist amid concerns they may have breast cancer. The NHS guidelines, or the NICE guidelines, better put, state that 93% of patients with symptoms of breast cancer should be seen within 14 days of being referred by a doctor. But the hospital's failed to reach this target now, and it's the 7th month. It's the longest wait for a woman displaying potential signs of breast cancer was between 3 and 4 weeks.
As someone who is helping his mother through breast cancer, you've got to get in there as quickly as you can, haven't you?
As someone who was left waiting to find out when they would be seen again, I had a breast cancer scare a number of years ago. It's a horrible, horrible thing. You know, part of you is saying that no news is good news, but at the same time, you'd rather someone actually spoke to you about it. So since January this year, the Trust has failed to hit this target, but by July, as you said there, the number of people being seen within that 2-week period had fallen to just 11%.
What hospital given any reason for this?
Of sorts. When performance levels dropped to 32% in May, the Trust partly blamed their failure on EastEnders.
Excuse me?
Well, they said that there'd been a rise in referrals because of the storyline involving one of the programme's main characters, Carol Jackson. A performance report presented to the Trust Board in September said an increase in referrals had been influenced by a recent TV programme where breast cancer was highlighted.
I can see that will get more people, interested. It's not the first time, is it, that this hospital has had problems dealing with cancer patients, though?
No. Earlier this year, West Hertfordshire NHS Trust launched an internal review of the process for monitoring patients referred with suspected cancer. This came after 2 cancer patients, and this is general cancer, this isn't breast cancer specifically. This after 2 cancer patients died after failing to be given follow-up appointments at Watford General. At the time, the Trust apologised for the delay in treating patients, and hospital bosses admitted a delay in treating one of the 2 patients may have contributed to their death. As a result, a new IT system was put in place, and the hospital launched a daily review of all patients who missed a booked cancer appointment.
What are the Trust going to do about this? What are they doing now?
Well, West Hertfordshire hospitals now claim they're in a position to offer all patients with suspected breast cancer the choice of an appointment within 14 days. This, they say, is the result of their having put in an additional 12 clinics in a month. We did ask the Trust's Chief Executive, Samantha Jones, to come on the programme to talk to us today.
What time's she coming on?
Not available, I'm afraid.
Come on, hospitals. But play the game.
They have given us a statement.
Okay.
And this is from the mouth of Samantha Jones, Chief Executive. In recent months, we've seen a significant increase in referrals for patients with suspected breast cancer, and I apologise to anyone who's had to wait longer than they should for their initial appointment to see a doctor. We put in place a wide range of measures to meet the extra demand and expect our performance to improve significantly over the next few months. It's important to note that patients who need follow-up treatment have received it within the recommended timeframe.
Why are these hospitals not coming? If they've sorted the problem out, then there's no problem in then coming on and saying, look, we messed up, we've sorted the problem out. If they haven't sorted the problem out, then they need to hold themselves to account, don't they? Thank you, Catherine. 08459. Hang on a second, I'm not giving out that number.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off this morning on the Great North Road, building a little bit at the Black Cat roundabouts as those major roadworks continue there. The M40, there's a lane closed at the moment because of an accident between Junction 2 at Beaconsfield and Junction 3 for Loudwater. Take a look in Edgware, there's burst water main at the moment on Edgware Way, just at Linford Gardens. And the M25 between Junction 25 for Enfield and Junction 27, the M11. Do expect delays there. Major roadworks are continuing. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
And Nicola, can I just say how marvellous it is for you to join us on your first bulletin? Because normally you have a very laid-back attitude towards punctuality, don't you?
Never.
Yeah. Oh, no, never, no. Thank you, Nicola. 6:17 or thereabouts. It is Tuesday, the 7th of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Watford General Hospital has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for 7 consecutive months, with more than 100 people waiting more than 2 weeks to see a specialist. New dog control orders will start in central Bedfordshire later this month in a bid to cut down on dog fouling. And in sport, Watford could be about to lose their third head coach in 6 weeks. Billy McKinley looks set to leave the club after just over a week in charge. How can it go wrong in just over a week?
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Coming up, we'll be asking, is the St George flag too chavvy to fly? And also the big question of the day, dogs or kids?
Every weekday morning, local opinions.
Well, I think it's a very difficult proposition.
You really cannot allow your heart to rule your head.
Local stories.
I wanted to call my house Hardcore Mansions. They refused that on 2 separate occasions.
I wasn't leaving the house through the fear as to what I would find when I came back.
Local life.
I bought a car within 3 months. It's rusty.
They said that the deposit would be forthcoming. It wasn't.
The JVS Show. Weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
You were about to...
yeah, I mean, I
speak
don't
to me.
want to upset Alice, so come here a minute.
Yes.
Why don't we do a Billy McKinley phone in?
What?
Shortest time in a job.
Oh, yeah.
What can we call it so it's not the Billy McKinley phone in?
What's the shortest time you've had in a job?
Call me now.
Nothing to do with Billy McKinley?
Yeah.
Simple. What's the shortest time you've had in a job? I'm trying
9 months.
Is that a joke about being pregnant?
No.
Well,
That was my first job in radio, 9 months, and I spent 5 months trying to get out.
I'm trying to think what my... I mean, I've had jobs that I haven't... but what's the job... I've had jobs for like an evening, but that doesn't count.
No. You have to go out in a blaze of glory. Wow.
Justin, what's the shortest job you've ever had?
For me, 2 days.
And what happened?
I was working in sales, I was knocking on doors, and I thought, you know what, I ain't doing this no more.
Oh, yeah, I did a paper round once.
I did one of those free paper rounds where you got... Get this, Alice. You got paid halfpenny a paper. Halfpenny a paper! That's insane! I was alive in the days when you could deliver newspapers and get paid halfpenny a paper. Halfpenny!
I think I only got paid about £4 for the entire round.
Flip those free paper rounds, man alive. You see anybody delivering those, you go and stuff a wad of tenors in their back pocket.
Tell you what, though, I was excellent paper delivery girl because I made sure the paper went right in. It was beautifully folded. Took me ages. I can understand why they just slap it half in.
Yeah,
certain technique there, getting it in the slot and pushing it right in.
Sorry?
A lot of people don't get that right, and it really frustrates me.
That's actually security. That's a security breach.
Just say that again, Just.
A lot of people. No, it frustrates me. I tell you what, a lot of people, when they're trying to put that paper in the slot, they can't push it right in.
No.
It's got to be pushed in the full way.
Slapdash.
Yeah, particularly this time of year, because if they're not pushing it in, your home can become a bit colder.
With the free papers, I did what most free paper delivery people did. And if you see free paper people delivering these things and then doing what I did, put a wad of tenors in their back pocket.
Exactly.
Dumped a load of them.
In a bush.
Dumped a load of them.
Fly tipping.
In a bush. I was 14. I was getting paid halfpenny a paper. There are kids in Vietnam making trainers that get paid more than I got paid.
Good trainers, though.
Yeah, excellent trainers, Just.
Justin, you know your paper flap?
Yeah.
Has it got, like, a moustache behind it?
No. Yes, I tried a tash for about 2 hours.
Man
No,
alive.
I'd mean your natural moustache. You know the ones where they got...
Well, the bush?
Yeah, so you've got to push your
Oh, I don't think you get those anymore.
No, I
yeah,
haven't
you
got a bush.
do.
No.
The insulated.
No, we've got a double flap.
Have you?
Yeah.
God, posh.
Yeah, we are very, very posh, as you know, isn't it? Posh, isn't it, Just?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Listen, should we do the dog thing?
Yeah.
And then we've got a little tribute to Paul Revere and the Raiders. But let's talk dogs first, Justin, shall we?
Yeah.
And by the way, if you want to give us a call on... you've got a busy morning this morning.
Oh, I know.
We've got dogs, Chavy St George's flag, and the shortest job you've ever had.
I've got some great stuff on flags already.
Fantastic.
And letterbox moustaches.
Yes. We're going to cram a week's worth of work out of you in one morn.
Beautiful.
OK, I hope you... OK. Dogs, first of all. Letting your dog off the lead, dear listener, not yours, Justin, well, yours as well, could cost you 80 nicker if you pick the wrong bit of central Bedfordshire. From the 19th of this month, which is October, you could also be fined for failing to pick up after your pet poo-poos. Justin, you've got more on this. Where has this come from?
Well, we talked about these orders back in June when Central Bedfordshire Council put forward the proposals before a consultation. Well, now, boss, that consultation has happened, and these dog control orders have been given the green light. All very well talking about them, but how do you enforce them?
I'm so sorry, Catherine is just clarifying some of the finer points of this story in my ear. What exactly are the orders, Just?
Let me explain these slowly. There are 4 that have been decided on.
OK, number 1.
It will be an offence for any dog owner to fail to remove dog fowl on any open land in central Bedfordshire.
The technical term for that, of course, is doing a drop and run.
Absolutely. Number 2, to allow a dog off a lead on any land to which a dogs on lead order is in place.
Right.
That's currently been extended to cover cemeteries, sports pitches, and the car parks of some country
First of all,
parks.
2 things there. Cover sports what?
Sports pitches.
Sports pitches.
Yeah.
And cemetery. Who takes a dog to a cemetery?
Lots of people do.
I have never seen a dog in a cemetery.
I don't get this. This came up in the meeting yesterday. Lots of people, if they're going to go to a cemetery, the dog is very much part of the family, they'll take the dog with them.
Here's a phone in. Ever seen a dog in a cemetery? 08459 455 555. But number 3.
Number 3, to fail to put a dog on a lead when ordered to do so by an authorised council officer, dog warden, site manager or park ranger. If the dog is not under proper control and is causing a nuisance to others.
Can I interrupt you for another phone in? When have you ever seen A, a council officer, B, a dog warden, C, a site manager, or D, a park ranger? Call me now, 08459 455 555.
Never.
And number 4.
Yeah, to allow their animal to enter or remain in an area from which dogs are excluded, such as a children's play area or multi-use games areas. That's number 4. Anybody who is not obeying these orders will be committing an offence and could face a fine of £80.
And it starts on the 19th, doesn't it, as I mentioned?
Yeah, a couple of weeks yet. 19th of October, that's when these orders are coming into force.
Who's more important, kids or dogs?
What do you mean by that?
Sorry?
What do you mean?
Well, you see, who's more important, kids or dogs?
In what context?
Right, the context of, you know dogs.
Yeah.
You know kids.
Yeah.
Who's more important?
Well, kids, obviously.
You say that. You haven't got any kids, you got a dog.
Well, it's my mum's dog. But if I had children, of course my child would always come above my dog. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? Who would put a dog before their child?
Oh, I bet... Oh, Justin.
Come on.
Have you ever listened to this radio station? 86% of the nut jobs that tune into Three Counties Radio would put their dog above their... Anyway, listen, we're running out of time because I want to do this. Paul Revere and the Raiders, a really bizarre, wonderful American rock band from the 60s. They all dressed up as soldiers from the American War of Independence, 1776. They were nuts.
Yeah.
Paul Revere has died. You've done a little tribute to him.
I have, because Paul Revere in America had great success. Here in the UK, not many people have heard of him, but this man, he was such a character. So if you've not heard about Paul Revere before, you need to listen to this, and off the back of it, go and buy his music. Let's now pay tribute to Paul Revere, who died at the weekend. Revere was flamboyant, energetic and charismatic. Their first major hit on the American charts was back in 1965 with Just Like Me. They were known for wearing war-style costumes, and other top 10 stateside included Hungary and perhaps their most famous song, Kicks.
Don't it seem like kicks just keep getting harder to find, and all your kicks ain't bringing you peace of mind. Before you find out it's too late, girl, you better get straight. No, but not with kicks.
Co-written by songwriting genius Barry Mann, it was one of music's first anti-drug songs. It was rejected by the Animals. 5 years later, Paul achieved top billing, a US #1 with a cover of Indian Reservation.
Cherokee people, Cherokee tribe.
Well, later the band would have a resurgence because of the punk rock era. A whole variety of artists covering their songs, including David Bowie and the Sex Pistols. In 2010, Paul Revere and his Raiders were inducted into the Hit Parade Hall of Fame, a well-deserved crown for a pioneering rock band. Earlier this year, Paul announced he was leaving the band due to health issues, and he died peacefully at his home on Saturday, aged 76, after a battle with cancer. Sadly, he didn't get the chart success he deserved here, but music fans will know we have lost a true legend.
See her dancing down the street now, flashing everyone she meets now. She wears clothes, she weaves for time, and her name's Cinderella Sunshine. Don't you want to spend some time with me? She could stay out all but told her like a wind, I cannot hold her. Golden pumpkin coach and four, do you take her from my door? Don't you want to spend some time with me? Where you go? Cinderella sunshine, where you go? Where you go, Miss Sunshine? Come the evening, she'll be here. With the dawn, she disappears. Oh, where you go, Cinderella sunshine?
Thank you, Justin. Excellent stuff. More of those, please. Go and buy Paul Revere and the Raiders' greatest hits. Go and buy it. You won't know any. Well, you'll know a few of the songs, but they're just wonderful. Whereas this is rubbish. Gary Barlow. Bye.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off in Luton, and Church Street at the moment is closed just near to Park Street due to some roadworks that are taking place there. The M25 starting to build up, heading anti-clockwise between junction 21 for the M1 and junction 20 at Kings Langley. The M40 heading northbound, there's one lane closed between junction 2 for Beaconsfield and junction 3 for Loudwater. That's following an accident that's happened there. The A414 in Park Street building up a little just at the Park Street roundabout, and so far on the trains, no problems or delays. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30, I'm Simon Oxley. Watford General Hospital has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for 7 consecutive months. More than 100 people had to wait more than 2 weeks to see a specialist. Hospital figures show the number of patients being seen within the targeted time fell to 11% in July. New dog control orders will start in central Bedfordshire later this month in a bid to cut down on dog fouling. Owners who don't comply will face an £80 fine. And dozens of people who came into contact with a nurse who's contracted the Ebola virus in Madrid are being monitored for signs of the disease. The nurse is the first person in the current outbreak to be infected outside West Africa.
3 Counties Sports.
BBC 3 Counties Radio.
Watford could be about to lose their third head coach in 6 weeks. Billy McKinlay looks set to leave the club after just over a week in charge. More from Jeff Doyle.
Troubling times for the Hornets. Reports suggest that Billy McKinlay is to leave Watford after just 8 days in charge. McKinlay is being strongly linked to the Fulham job. The Scot became Watford head coach following Oscar Garcia's departure due to ill health. The Spaniard had taken over from the Italian Beppe Sannino, who'd been under pressure since the beginning of the season. On the pitch, Watford are joint top of the Championship. Off the pitch, the club is in a mess.
There are Johnstone's Paint Trophy matches tonight for Milton Keynes Dons and Luton. The Dons host AFC Wimbledon for the second time this season, but have several players missing, injured and on international duty, so Tom Hitchcock and Samir Carruthers will start. Luton manager John Still says he'll field a strong side at home to Crawley.
I'm always very thoughtful about how I bring players in and very thoughtful about how I bring players on. And, you know, if we want to be gung-ho and put everybody in that's done all right, you know, that might not be the best for the team.
And there's commentary on MK Dons and Luton in tonight's 3 Counties Sport from 7. In non-league football, Boreham Wood are top of Conference South after last night's 2-1 win over St Albans. Tonight, Bishop Stortford hosts Bromley. In the Southern League Premier, Hitchin lost 4-3 at home to St Neots. Tonight, there are home matches for Chesham and for Dunstable. And in badminton, Milton Keynes made a losing start to the new National League last night with a 4-1 defeat at home to Surrey in front of the television cameras in Middleton Hall at the Centre MK. BBC 3 Counties News and Sport, the next full bulletin at 7.
How could... Right, I don't know football, Simon, but to be in a job... How long has he been there? 8 days?
8 days, yeah.
How is that possible? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, it's not unheard of for managers to leave quite quickly, but 8 days is...
has he just had a better offer? Has he fallen out with them?
Well, this is to be discovered. Only appointed last Monday, and as he's only 2 games in charge, widely reported this morning that he's leaving. The possibility is Jeff was saying that he might go back to his old club, Fulham, although a lot of the reports in the newspapers this morning saying he's simply leaving. And he, of course, is one of a number of managers this season. He's the third manager stroke head coach. They started with Beppe Sannino. He resigned at the end of August. Then they appointed Oscar Garcia, who had various health problems, so he left, and McGinley was appointed last Monday.
Oscar, did he really have health problems, or is it one of those things where you turn up at a new job and you go, I feel a bit sick?
No, I think they're genuinely chest pains, which I think it was a little bit more than that because he spent a week in hospital, and you don't spend a week in hospital if you just feel a bit iffy. So I think that was something genuine, but McGinley is off as well.
Thank you, Simon. Fascinating times for football.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
Thank you.
Is Iain Lee.
BBC 3 Counties Radio.
You've got all the papers.
Yeah.
You got my
Deal with
papers.
it.
I'll have
Deal
that one,
with
and I'll have that one, and I'll have that one. I like the politics of football, it turns out. I don't like the sport of football. I'm trying to think. I've done some pretty lousy jobs, but I tend to stick them out. I always stick out jobs. I can't think of any time that I've gone, do you know what? This sucks, guys.
I've been miserable at work before.
Yeah.
Obviously not now, clearly.
I was brought up...
But you can always find something in it to keep your mind busy.
One of the worst jobs I ever had was cleaning test tubes in a laboratory that was doing research into cancer and AIDS. I believe somewhere in that building they had monkeys in cages. And I used to have to go in before anybody else. And the very first day, there was a tap which was hotter than hot. It was the scaldingest hot water. And the tap came down and then pointed outwards. And you had a rubber tube on it. And you would clean the stuff in there before putting it in the the proper dishwasher for all the stuff. And I'm wearing blue overalls, like nothing underneath, pants. The first day...
Hairnet.
I had a hairnet, yeah.
Gloves.
No gloves.
Paper shoes.
Yes. The first day, the rubber tube came off,
Eesh.
like minutes into it, and it was at...
crotch height.
It was at willy height. Literally, what's that, an inch? It was an inch away from my old fella. And it's scalding hot water hit me there, right? What would you call that thing I'm touching?
Very lucky.
Okay. Honestly. And I'm going to go...
I think it'd be called your... Well, anyway, yeah.
So it's so hot, right? It's so hot. I'm going... Flipping out, that's really hot. It was so hot that the thin blue cotton overalls I'm wearing welded to the flesh of my luckiness. Welded to the flesh. And so as I pull it off, and I'm thinking I'm going to get in trouble, and I pulled it off, the skin ripped away from, I'm going to say it, groin, and I was in agony. I was the first day there. There was no one else in the building. I was terrified. And so I went out pretending nothing was... I got changed, and I'm limping. I'm in agony. I have a skinless groin. And I phoned up my mum and said, Mum, I don't know what to do. And I went to hospital, and then I had to go back to work. And for the 3 months I was there, I got beaten up by a Nigerian cleaner every day. He'd come in and physically intimidate me. And also, at the end of it, they said, it turns out that all of the stuff you've been cleaning has come back dirty, so they've not been able to do their tests on cancer and AIDS and stuff. Have you been doing it properly? I said, yeah. Talk me through the procedure again. They said, right, you've got to hand wash everything and then put it in the machine, and then I hadn't been hand washing any of it.
Oh, Ian.
So that may be why I may have set back medical science about 3-4 years.
So remind me again why you didn't go into pharmaceuticals.
What you got in the papers?
All kinds of things and stuff.
Yeah.
Bully? No, I just speak my mind, says Sugar. Right.
What?
There are certain people in this world, and it seems to be a tendency now, like in the last 10 years, of people being rude and then going, I'm just being honest. I'm actually being nice to you. If you watch Big Brother, I know you sometimes watch Big Brother.
I'm paid to watch it, yeah. I love it. I love
people say, I'm not going to say this behind your back, I'm going to say it to your face. Like it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Don't be mean. Just don't be mean to each other.
I have someone in my life, I'm not going to say who it is, but it's my aunt, who is very confrontational and will say things. And I have been told, well, that's just the way she is. She's honest. No, she's not. She's rude. When I'm honest back to her, she
thinks you're rude.
She thinks I'm being rude and she doesn't want to hear it. Oh, I see. And that's the way these people are. Anyway, Sugar, he's got a new series or something, has he?
Yeah, so he's going on about that. He's warmed up for the 10th series. 10.
I'm so bored of The Apprentice and Dragon's Den.
How many apprentices has he actually seen through to maybe giving them a permanent job? I'd be interested to know.
They all end up suing him, don't they?
Well, or pregnant or leaving. The multimillionaire businessman refutes his axeman image by explaining, you have to look at my history. People would have reported it if lots of people were taking me to tribunals. Speak to my employees. I've got people who've worked for me for 35 to 40 years. They work for me because they enjoy working for me. There's a balance between plain speaking and bullying. We don't bully people here. It's not bullying to speak your mind. I don't flower my words. If someone's useless, I'll tell them. If someone has done a good job, I'll also tell them.
I'll tell them. I invented the Amstrad computers.
I would kind of... right, all this... I wouldn't like him to be rude to me. I'd kind of like a pat on the back from Alan Sugar.
No, you won't get a pat on the back from him.
He'd say, you've done a good job, Boyle.
No.
Well done.
He wouldn't say it to you.
He would. He'd say, you're a winner, you're a grinner, you're...
Bit of a sinner. Come on, let's go for a drink. Hey, one of my favourite things is watching people perform exorcisms. I've only seen one person do it. It was a traffic warden in Soho Square in London at 10:30 at night doing it over the telephone. He was doing it over the telephone. Out! Demons! Out! It was brilliant. I was so exciting. Anyway.
Did your demons pop out?
Something popped out. There is, look at this headline, 4 a.m, exorcism at the Sacred Manhole in Croydon. It's quite sad because there is a child being exorcised.
It's more than sad. Some people believe in this nonsense.
In the gloom of a street lamp, a group of people all in black clutch Bibles and call on the Holy Spirit to cleanse them. Is there a child there or not? The dimly lit scene bears an eerie similarity to posters of horror film The Exorcist, but this is a suburban street in South London. Bizarrely, they gathered around a manhole in Croydon, where, last week, witnesses saw the strange band of zealots surrounding a toddler and screaming, "Get the demon out!" I love a good exorcism. I'm into my ghosts at the moment.
Oh, it's all nonsense.
It's all, well, in that case, why are you scared that we're going to go and stay in a haunted hotel over Halloween?
Because you jump out on me.
Yeah.
And because I don't particularly want to be under the same roof as you and Justin in the dark.
Come on.
Kelly's tiny.
Yeah.
Kelly is tiny.
So we won't be able to find her. We'll be able to find you. You're big.
Oh.
Oh. So you're not scared. You're not scared of ghosts?
No, I'm scared of camping.
Well, then I won't camp it up. Oh, there's another story. No, we'll do that. We'll speak to just before 10 to. I want to talk to him about the flag of St George. What else have you got?
I don't know, because you took the papers off me. There was a thing on the front of the paper there.
Which one?
No, not that one.
Honeysuckle drink?
No.
Diwani? Cannabis?
No.
Gone Girl? We expect too much of marriage?
Expect too much of marriage. Do we? Call me now.
We've got. I'll be honest, guys. So this is why I don't want to give out the phone number to these slackers. We've put out about a dozen really, really strong phone-ins.
Yeah, exactly. Kids or dogs? What's better? 08459 455 555. Hang on a minute. Listen.
Shortest job you've ever had? 08459 455 555. What? Is the flag of St George too chavvy? 08459 455 555.
Hang on. No, nothing. You lazy...
You slackers.
Lazy.
We're here. You're there. Where's the phone? I don't care. That's like a haiku. Yeah, it is. Should we have a record?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Shake, 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 Sinora, shake your body line. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake it all the time. Work, 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 Sinora, work your body line. Work, 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 Sinora, work it all the time. My girl's name is Sonora. I tell you, friends, I adore her. And when she dances, oh brother, she's a hurricane in all kinds of weather. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line, rock your body on time. Whoop. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake your body line. Whoop. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake it all the time. Work, 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 Sinora, work your body line. Work, 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 Sinora, work it all the time. You can talk about cha-cha, tango, waltz or the rumba. Sinora's dance has no title. You jump in the saddle, hold on to the bridle. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line, rock your body. Rock your body, child. Jump in the line, rock your body in time. Somebody help me. Jump in the line, rock your body in time. Whoop. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake your body line. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake it all the time. Work, 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 Sinora, work your body line. Yeah. Work, 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 Sinora, work it all the time. Sinora, she's a sensation, the reason for aviation. And fellas, you got to watch it. When she wind up, she bottom, she go like a rocket. Jump in the line, rock your body in time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line, rock your body in time. High star skirts a little higher, jump in the line, rock your body in time. Up the chimney, jump in the line, rock your body in time. Whoa! Shake, 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 Sinora. Shake your body line. Work, 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 Sinora. Work it all the time. Dance, 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 Sinora. Dance it all the time. Work, 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 Sinora. Work it all the time. Sinora dances calypso. Left to right is the tempo. And when she gets the sensation, she go up in the air, come down in slow motion. Jump in the line, rock your body in time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line, rock your body in time. Somebody help me! Jump in the line, rock your body in time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line, rock your body in time. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake your body line. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake it all the time. Work, 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 Sinora.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 heading southbound starting to look rather heavy this morning between junction 10 at Luton Airport and junction 7 for Hemel Hempstead. In Luton, Church Street's closed at the moment just near Park Street due to some roadworks that are taking place there. The A1M is building up heading southbound just around junction 7 for Stevenage, and taking a look at the M25 heading anti-clockwise on the sensors, building between junction 21 for the M1 and junction 20 at Kings Langley, and the M40 heading northbound. There's a lane closed between junction 2 for Beaconsfield and junction 3 for Loudwater. It's all due to an accident that's happened there. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Nicola. It's 6:46. It's Tuesday, the 7th of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Watford General Hospital has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for 7 consecutive months, with more than 100 people waiting more than 2 weeks to see a specialist. New dog control orders will start in central Bedfordshire later this month in a bid to cut down on dog fouling. And in sport, Watford could be about to lose their 3rd head coach in 6 weeks. Billy McKinley looks set to leave the club after just over a week in charge. Let's get the weather.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It's a bit of a mixed bag of weather today. We have had some very heavy showers already this morning. Currently on our second band of showers. They're moving eastwards as I speak, and eventually we should start to see some sunny spells. Some of us already have got some clear spells. Further west you are, so kind of west of Aylesbury really at the moment, we're starting to see the clearer skies. The rest of us, though, still have these heavy showers, but they're moving quite quickly, pushed along by a southwesterly breeze. So after which we should get some decent sunny spells. Not ruling out the chance for shower through the afternoon, but we should get some sunshine between them. Temperatures getting up to around 15 Celsius, a touch warmer than yesterday thanks to the arrival of that sun. Overnight tonight, clear for the first part, so our temperature's going to be fairly cool fairly quickly, but as we head through the night, the cloud will thicken from the south as the wind starts to pick up. Minimum temperature 6 Celsius. Rather cloudy for Wednesday, heavy showers moving across the region in bands, bringing with it the risk of maybe a rumble or two of thunder, but becoming breezier through the course of tomorrow as well, so a rather blustery wet day. Maximum temperature up to 17 Celsius, and that's your forecast.
Catherine, ever been to Stevenage?
Yeah.
I've been, but I don't know what people there think of it.
Should we ask them?
Yeah. People of Stevenage, what do you think of it?
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of Beds, Hearts and Bucks.
It's full of lots of green spaces, lots of parks, lots of things for people to do.
I've never really thought about leaving. Bought me houses here and that's it.
All this week, we're exploring Stevenage.
I've never found anywhere that has so much to offer.
I do enjoy the old town. It does have a historic atmosphere to it.
Telling everyone about where you live.
Beautiful local place to walk our dogs around and enjoy the area.
The parks and the gardens are fantastic.
It's very clean, it's very friendly.
The big tour of Beds, Hearts and Bucks.
Our town motto is the heart of a town lies in its people.
If we didn't have the people, we wouldn't have this fantastic town.
From BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thanks. I didn't know towns had town mottos. So Stevenage is the heart of the town lies in the heart of the people. That's weird.
Yeah, Stevenage.
What's Luton's town motto?
Luton, home of them all.
Get home quick. What's
That's M-A-L-L, not M-O-L-L.
In that case, what is Milton Keynes?
City Dreams.
Andy?
Morning, Ian.
What's Bedford's motto?
My hometown.
Well, no, okay. Yeah, but what is your hometown's motto?
My hometown.
Yeah, your hometown. What's its motto?
My hometown.
Exactly, but what is its motto?
My hometown.
Where do you live?
My hometown.
Which is?
Bedford.
Okay, so what's his motto?
My hometown.
Yes. What's his motto?
I don't know.
Okay. What have you called in for, Andy?
Ah, yes.
Ah! I knew there was something, yes!
I hear the hint of desperation in your voice at no callers, so
Correct.
I think it's my idea of a letters corner must sound a bit more appealing now, Ian. Do you want me to write you another letter?
I like letters. Yeah, you write me a letter any time you want, slagging off my colleague Catherine Boyle, who's here.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, he was
I
reading
didn't
about
slag off Catherine, innit?
You said that you did. You said that we jumped on the bandwagon or something. I would be able to read it, but I've burnt it.
You haven't burnt it?
Yeah, I burnt it, and a drawing of what I think you look like, and I'm creating a voodoo doll of you.
Oh.
Notice any twinges recently?
No.
You will.
Gosh, Andy, you were rude about me. I'm quite hurt.
I wasn't rude about you, Catherine. I said you were the most loveliest lady I'd ever spoken to.
Bang on.
Yeah, it's probably the only lady he's ever spoken to.
Don't trust that, Iain.
What do you want? We're not this desperate.
Huh?
We're not this desperate. What do you want?
Did you watch that 24 Hours in Police Custody last night?
I did, yeah.
No comment.
No comment. Apparently that's the way forward.
Yeah.
Is it boring, though? Doesn't it get a bit boring? Is every interview going to be like that? No comment.
Do you know what? It was very slow yesterday, but I found a couple of things quite extraordinary. I don't know whether I would say surprising, but extraordinary. The fact that fella who had said all those awful things to his quote-unquote ex-partner, she was willing to give up her kids for him.
Yeah.
Can you stop? Sorry to interrupt.
Will you make him?
Could you stop doing the microwave while Catherine's talking to you, mate?
You know, I was doing the microwave.
I'm psychic, isn't it?
You're clever, Iain, aren't you?
Are you having porridge?
No, I'm just warming up something. Some defrosting some scones.
What, for your breakfast?
Yeah, just with a cup of tea. It's not really my breakfast, but I have a lot of medication I have to take with food, you see.
Yeah, wait a minute. Scones aren't medication, mate.
You're like the Marie Antoinette of Bedford.
Greg is not a pharmacist.
No, I'm on pills for my heart, you see.
Yeah, but what's... Well, okay, but... okay. Anyway, right, is that it?
No.
Thanks very much. Philip's in South Norwood. Good morning, Philip.
Oh, good morning, Iain. I live just round the corner from where those exorcisms were taken.
Oh, do you know about this holy, the manhole cover?
Oh, well, no, what it was in the local paper a couple of weeks ago that people had been seen, as you said, early in the morning round the lamppost, saying, get out.
Oh.
And it's just to say, it's just round the next street.
Oh, blimey. You should go there and see if you can get some of the holy vibes.
I mean, it's a bit early in the morning.
Yeah,
it's a bit early. The other thing, Iain, Paul Revere, I was a big fan.
He was good, wasn't he?
Yeah, I tell you what, his lead singer was Mark Lindsay.
Yeah.
And he made some great individual records on his own. Arizona's a great song. Yeah.
Give us a burst.
Oh, no, it's a bit early. I got my teeth in.
Philip. Now, as we all know...
Is Philip real? Can we keep him? I really like him.
You can have him. Thank you, Philip.
Thanks, Philip.
Now, listen, as you all know, it's Harry Belafonte's 85th birthday today, so we are celebrating by playing Harry Belafonte songs. What was the last one we just heard?
Jump in the Line, brackets, Shake Sonora.
Well, this one's called Matilda, and after this, we'll speak to Justin Daly about the Chavy Flag of St George.
Hey, Matilda, she take me money and run Venezuela. Once again now, Matilda, she take me money and run Venezuela. $500 friends I lost. Woman even sell me cat and horse. Hey, Matilda, she take me money and run Venezuela. Everybody, Matilda, sing out the chorus. Matilda, sing a little louder. Matilda, she take me money and run Venezuela. Once again now, Matilda, going round the corner. Matilda, sing out the chorus. Matilda, she take me money and run Venezuela. Well, the money was to buy me house and land. Then she got a serious plan. Hey, Matilda, she take me money and run Venezuela. Everybody, Matilda, she take me money and run Venezuela. Once again now, Matilda, going round the corner. Matilda, she take me money and run Venezuela. Well, the money was just inside me bed, stuck up in a pillow beneath me head. Don't you know, Matilda, she found me money. Everybody, Matilda, again now. Matilda, Malaka-chimba, Matilda, in the little water. Matilda, she take me money and run Venezuela. Well, me friends, never to love again. All me money gone in vain, yeah. Matilda, she take me money and run Venezuela. Everybody, Matilda, Matilda, Malaka-chimba, Matilda, she take me money and run Venezuela. Sing a little softer, Matilda, Matilda.
Harry Belafonte morning, guys. Who'd have thought it?
Everybody!
Matilda! He's away!
Matilda!
Come on, Just!
Matilda!
What a legend.
Happy 85th birthday, Belafonte.
Jump in the Line always reminds me of Beetlejuice. Great film.
Justin Dealey. We haven't got much time now because we've been celebrating the birth of Harry Belafonte. But there is a story in the newspaper today. Where's the mail? It's in the mail. Look for a folded page.
There's a load. Give me a clue.
It's on the left-hand side somewhere. There's a story, Justin, that people will not fly the flag of St George because they think it's too, not racist, chavvy.
That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Here it is. Many English people are embarrassed to fly the Cross of St George because they think the nation's flag has become too chavvy, as Iain and the nation's poll says.
Yeah.
Almost a third would not display the flag because it's become associated with football fans, lager louts, and this is according to social anthropologist Kate Fox.
If Kate Fox says it, it's got... She don't mess around when it comes to flags. Is the flag chavvy, Just?
I don't think so. I think we'll play some audio after 7:30. What I would say...
We can play it now.
We can play it now,
yeah,
OK.
Got time for it now.
I've been out this morning, early doors on this one, putting it to people who are not only English, but also people that have come to this country as well. Asking them, is the flag chavvy? People who fly the flag, are they chavs? Here's what people had to say.
Let's have it.
It depends. If it's a social... If it's a football match or it's St George's Day, I see nothing wrong in it. But other than that, I wouldn't rub it in people's faces. I think that can be a bit chavvy. If you've got it on your windows, I don't like that. I think it just makes the street untidy.
So, yes, fly it, but fly it on special occasions.
Yeah.
If you got it up all the time, you're a chav.
Possibly.
What do you think, sir? Our flag, is it chavvy?
No. I think it's good. People showing about they're supporting our country. They're showing our country and stuff like that. I like stuff like that.
Do you think our English flag, sir... Where are you from, by the way?
Lithuania.
Lithuania. OK. You're from Lithuania. Do you think people who fly the English flag, do you think those people are a bit chavvy, a bit cheap, a bit nasty, a bit low life?
Maybe. It's hard to say for me, because...
I think maybe's all we need.
Maybe, yes, indeed.
Okay, thanks very much.
No problem, yeah.
Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Cheers,
you too, yeah.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Justin. We'll have more on that later on. 08459 455 555. Do you agree? Is the flag of St George a little bit chavvy?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off this morning on the A1, the Great North Road, looking very heavy on the sensors at the moment at the Black Cat roundabout. Also, the A1M is building, heading southbound, just around junction 7 for Stevenage. Also, the M1 starting to build between junction 11 at Dunstable Road and junction 9 for Redbourne. The M25 heading anti-clockwise, very slow moving on the sensors between junction 21, the M1, and junction 20 for Kings Langley. Also, a lane closed on the M40 between junction 2 for Beaconsfield and junction 3 for Loudwater. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Nicola, would you like to wish Harry Belafonte a happy 85th birthday?
I would. A huge happy... Would you want me to sing?
Yeah, go on.
Happy...
Oh, flipping heck. What the fuck? What? Because I will have a word with her. What was she doing then?
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock, I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Hertfordshire Hospital missing its breast cancer targets, new dog control orders in central Bedfordshire, and Watford set to lose a third coach in 6 weeks.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Watford General Hospital has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for 7 consecutive months. More than 100 people had to wait more than 2 weeks to see a specialist. Hospital figures show the number of patients being seen within the targeted time fell to 11% in July. More from Craig Lewis.
West Hertfordshire Hospital NHS Trust missed its 2-week target to see women with breast cancer symptoms for 7 consecutive months. NHS guidelines state that 93% of patients should be seen within 14 days of being referred by a doctor. The Trust now insists it is in a position to offer all patients with suspected breast cancer an appointment within 14 days after putting on an extra 12 clinics a month.
New dog control orders will start in central Bedfordshire later this month in a bid to cut down on dog fouling. Owners who walk their pets without a lead in certain areas will face an £80 fine, as Danny Bailey reports.
The new measures are being introduced by Central Bedfordshire Council in response to concerns about people not clearing up after their pets. The council say the aim is not to put people off owning and walking dogs, but to help make parks and countryside welcoming places for everyone. The orders take effect from Sunday the 19th of October.
Dozens of people who came into contact with a nurse who's contracted the Ebola virus in Madrid are being monitored for signs of the disease. The nurse is the first person in the current outbreak to be infected outside West Africa. President Obama says the US administration is considering additional measures to screen airline passengers for signs of Ebola. A 29-year-old man is in hospital with serious head injuries after being attacked in a Luton street on Saturday afternoon. The man was pulled from his car by 2 men in Douglas Road at 4:15 and was attacked with a hammer. He managed to drive himself to the Luton and Dunstable Hospital, but has since been transferred to Addenbrooke's in Cambridge. Police say they believe he knew his attackers. The state of police custody suites in Bedfordshire have again been criticised by a national watchdog. It follows an unannounced inspection with the Bedford cells closed as a result. More from Carol Abercrombie.
Inspectors from the Prison Service and Inspector of Constabulary were told that a new custody unit is now being built at Kempston. They welcomed that, but found that of the 26 recommendations made after a previous inspection, only 7 had been achieved. The report criticised staffing levels and highlighted that some children had to remain in custody as there was no provision in the area to accommodate them on bail.
In sport, Watford could be about to lose their third head coach in 6 weeks. Billy McKinlay looks set to leave the club after just over a week in charge. The Scot is being linked with the vacancy at his former club Fulham just 8 days after replacing Oscar Garcia at Vicarage Road. The weather: a cloudy start with heavy, possibly thundery showers this morning. Some sunny spells later, a maximum temperature 15 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
It's full of lots of green spaces, lots of parks, lots of things for people to do.
All this week, we're exploring Stevenage.
Do enjoy the old town. It does have a historic atmosphere to it.
Telling everyone about where you live.
Our town motto is the heart of a town lies in its people.
If we didn't have the people, we wouldn't have this fantastic town.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks. BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Well, our next guest is a little poorly. Get well soon, next guest. So we'll play another 2 Harry Belafonte songs. Don't worry, don't worry. What's coming up? Well, we'll be talking about Watford General Hospital, how it's failed to hit its breast cancer targets. Dogs on leads. Is the flag of St George chavvy? Well, do you know what? I can kind of see the point in this. I think it is a little bit, you see it... Well, you see it... you see it hanging out of bedroom windows in flats and it makes it look chavvy, I think. Shortest time you've been in a job and... Wasn't there something... There was something else.
Dogs or kids, which is best?
Dogs or kids, which is best? 08459 455 555 is the telephone number.
across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
So our guest is poorly?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Exactly.
Nothing
Those
too
things,
serious,
though.
I hope.
I don't think so.
Let's keep our fingers crossed and let's wish our guest, Liz, that you get well soon.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Oh, well, I was very sad to hear that. OK, well, we can still talk about this story. It's a big one. Watford General has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for the 7th consecutive month. The National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, they've changed. What were they before? Clinical excellence, weren't they?
Yes, that's right. Which made sense. That's why they were called NICE.
No, but health was still in there, I think. I think it was the National Institute for Health and Clinical Excellence.
No, I thought it was just clinical excellence.
No, I think it was, because my thing was always I had to swap those two letters to make it niche. I remember Anyway, yes, right. Anyway, they say that 93% of patients should see a specialist within 2 weeks. Well, Watford kept that up from April to December last year, but in January, things started not going to plan and they fell behind. By July, it was only managing 11%. So how badly is Watford General performing, Kath?
Well, the West Herts NHS Trust, which runs Watford Hospital, estimates that 130 people have waited longer than 2 weeks to see a specialist about concerns that they may have breast cancer. NHS guidelines, as you say there, or NICE guidelines, state that 93% of patients with symptoms should be seen within 14 days of being referred by their doctor. But the hospital failed to reach its target for 7 months in a row now, and the longest wait for a woman displaying potential signs of breast cancer was between 3 and 4 weeks. You can only imagine the tension and the worry that would cause. Now, since January this year, the Trust has failed to hit its targets repeatedly, and by July, as you said there, the number of people being seen within 2 weeks had fallen to just 11%.
Now, the hospital, well, it sounds rather bizarre to start with, but I can sort of understand it to a certain extent. They're blaming it on EastEnders, of all things.
They are. They're saying that that performance levels dropped to 32% in May. And they blamed this failure on an increased demand because of EastEnders, their soap line involving Carol Jackson and her storyline involving breast cancer. It's made more people heightened to the possibility that they should be looking out for symptoms.
And also, of course, the Sun's Copper Feel campaign.
Yes,
oh, dear
that
boy.
Probably as well.
Yeah.
But they're not listing that. This was actually written down in a performance report presented to the Trust Board in September, and it said that an increase in referrals had been influenced by that recent television programme.
OK, so that's one of their excuses for falling behind with breast cancer. But they've struggled in the past with other cancers, haven't they?
They have. Earlier this year, West Hertfordshire NHS Trust launched an internal review of the process for monitoring patients referred with suspected cancer, just general cancer. That came after 2 cancer patients died after failing to be given follow-up appointments at Watford General. At the time, the Trust apologised for the delay in treating patients, and hospital bosses admitted a delay in treating one of those 2 patients may have contributed to their death. As a result, new IT system was put into place, and the hospital launched a daily review of all patients who missed a booked cancer appointment.
What are the Trust doing about this?
West Herts Hospital's NHS Trust claims it's now in a position to offer all patients with suspected breast cancer the choice of an appointment within 14 days. And this, they say, is a result of their having put on an additional 12 clinics a month. We did invite the Trust Chief Executive, Samantha Jones, to come onto the programme to talk to us about this today. She's unavailable. We have been issued the following statement, and it's quoting Samantha Jones. In recent months, we've seen a significant increase in referrals for patients with suspected breast cancer, and I apologise to anyone who's had to wait longer than they should for their initial appointment to see a doctor. We've put in place a wide range of measures to meet the extra demand and expect our performance to improve significantly over the next few months. It's important to note that patients who need follow-up treatment have received it within the recommended time.
08459 455 555.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
I tell you what. We'll do the. Where's the Daily Mail gone?
I've piled them all up there in front of you.
It's not often I say that sentence. Where's my Daily Mail? Where's my Daily Mail? Let's have a quick look at this flag story, and then I'll tell you something that happened the other day that I need to discuss it with you, dear listeners, as to whether it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life or the cruelest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm keen to get your opinion. But this story in the Daily Mail, it's on the left-hand side, which means it's not a very important story in their opinion. Patriots or Patriots? Patriots? Alice?
Patriots.
Catherine? Patriots.
You'd say expat, wouldn't you? Expatriate, I think.
I'd say...
Patriot sounds more...
American. Patriot Games. We're going to go and save the president from assassination from the Iranian terrorists.
Anyway, people who are patriotic.
They won't fly the chavvy flag of St George. Many English people are embarrassed to fly the cross of St George because they think the nation's flag has become too chavvy. Almost a third would not display the flag because it has become associated with football fans and lager louts. A quarter were put off by its links to far extremism. So more people won't wear it because they won't use it because they think it's chavvy than think it's racist. Social anthropologist Kate Fox said the shunning of the flag by Middle England had now become a class problem rather than a political one. And she goes on to say other things. 30% don't fly the flag because it's associated with football. They said it's a bit chavvy, so it's got lower class associations.
I don't get why you'd need to fly a flag in your own country anyway.
I don't get all this flag-waving nonsense. It's not a particularly attractive flag anyway. It's quite, as flags go, it's pretty dull.
The ones people buy, those horrible, cheap, highly flammable nylon, and the white doesn't stay white for very long. It can look very grubby very quickly.
Yeah, and when you're hanging it out of your bedroom or indeed bathroom window on a block of flats, and there is an undertone to what I'm saying, it gets dirty within a day, and it does look dead common. If you're going to fly a flag... Right, here's the thing, right?
Who are you flying it at?
If you're going to fly a flag, fly it properly. Get a flagpole, run it up the flagpole and see.
We've got one of those around our area.
Really? Front or back garden?
It's in the back, but it's right on the main road.
Oh, dear.
I mean, who is that for?
Exactly. I don't quite get the flag flying, but if you're going to do it properly. You know, have a nice flag that you're going to run up the flagpole and see if anyone bites.
Do some sort of ceremony.
Don't shove it out your window and have it's held up because your window is shut. Don't do that. That is hot. That is chavvy, isn't it? 08459 455 555 is the telephone number, should you wish to give us a call on that. Now, the thing that I saw, and I need your help on, that Alice and Catherine, and also dear listener, right? So we're in the car at the weekend, and we're stuck in traffic, okay? Stuck in traffic, and we're kind of stopped by a lamppost. It was a road sign, actually, if you want to be specific. And it's me, my wife, and my youngest, who's 2.5, is in the back. That's where they sit. And walking along... was a mum and a child, and the boy was probably, I would say, 5 years old, okay? Now, I don't know for sure, she was walking along, she could see where she's going. He was, I think, looking at me in the car. I may have been pulling a face. I don't know, I often do that to children.
You were staring at a child, I was probably wondering what you were looking at.
I was staring at a child, as is my wont. And this child was looking at me, and he weren't looking where he was going. And I could see exactly what was going to happen. I could see what was going to happen. I was powerless to stop it. I wasn't powerless to nudge my wife and say, "Here, look, that boy's going to walk into that signpost." And it was literally outside our car. And he did. Smacked straight into the sign. Now, I had a second thing, oh my God, that's awful, and I could have stopped it. And then I just started laughing hysterically. He burst into tears, and it was like proper 5-year-old crying,
those
sobbing.
Those poles hurt.
Man alive. He was in agony. And I was going to my wife, I think that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And she went, "Oh, you're so cruel." Now, there's an ancient... Who knows the Chinese proverb? Alice, I'll start with you.
What, the one?
Don't do the voice.
The proverb?
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure.
Catherine, the Chinese proverb?
No.
There's nothing funnier than watching your neighbour fall off a roof. It's a proverb, not a gag, guys, so go with me. But it's true that I would say there is one thing funnier than watching your neighbour fall off a roof. It's watching a 5-year-old not seeing where he's going and walk smack bang into a lamppost.
Oh, I don't know. I've been that soldier. I was the kid that always did stuff like that.
You've been there?
Yeah.
I've caught my bollards. I've caught my bollards on a bollard before.
I've wrapped myself round a lamppost going down the hill on my roller skates.
Oh, really?
It's the only way I could stop.
I don't like roller skates. I don't like mushrooms as well. We'll talk about mushrooms later on.
What did you do to a mushroom?
I ate mushroom soup last night, and I don't like it. I wish I was allergic to mushrooms. It would make my life so much simpler. Anyway, that's going off on one. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. I felt guilty for a bit, and then 5 minutes later, my youngest went, "Daddy, is that big boy still crying?" I went, "Yeah, it probably is." It's funny, isn't it? 08459 455 555. I need some kind of moral compass. I can't believe I'm asking these suckers whether they're my moral compass. Maybe if I stopped insulting them, they'd call him. But is that... I think it's funny. Alice, your judgment, please.
Yeah, it's definitely funny. Happens to everyone.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it happens to children, not children.
See? She's up for it, Catherine.
It's that moment where you want to laugh, you check they're all right, and then you do laugh, and it's mostly discomfort, isn't it? It's embarrassment that you can't stop the laughing.
It's when people look around and like, oh, did anyone see that?
Does it make it different? I could have stopped that happening.
No,
I was God. I know what it feels like to be God, and I allowed that to happen.
You couldn't have stopped it.
What would you have done?
You'd have distracted him further by shouting out the car.
Yeah, he would have...
Oi! Eileen's going to walk into that! And I love, maybe, do you know what? I did feel like, I won't say, I felt like God. I felt like God watching humans muffin it up completely. He's up there having a laugh. He's going, I should feel bad, but actually it's quite funny. Turns out God sounds like Roger Moore.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Bedford, starting to look quite heavy on the A6 heading into town at the moment between the A41 and Rope Walk. The M1's looking heavy on the sensors heading southbound between junction 11 for Dunstable Road and junction 9 at Redbourne. The M25's very slow anti-clockwise between junction 21 the M1 and junction 20 at Kings Langley. Also heavy on the A1M between junction 3 for St Albans and junction 1 for the M25. There's also a lane closed on the M40 heading northbound between junction 2 at Beaconsfield and junction 3 for Loudwater, and that's due to an accident that happened a little earlier on this morning. So far, no reported problems on the trains. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. 7:16, it's Tuesday the 7th of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Watford General Hospital has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for 7 consecutive months, with more than 100 people waiting more than 2 weeks to see a specialist. New dog control orders will start in central Bedfordshire later this month in a bid to cut down on dog fouling. And in sport, Watford could be about to lose their third head coach in 6 weeks. Billy McKinley looks set to leave the club after just over a week in charge. Dear listener, what is the shortest job you've ever had?
BBC Three Counties Radio.
What's Rob going to ask his panel?
Every weekday from 3.
Good afternoon, welcome to the show.
Local people.
What's your story?
Seems there's a law for them and then there's one for the press, and I disagree with what they're saying.
Local views.
In some cases, sort of 40% loss in value of their properties.
Has Kenny Luton got it right?
There is a responsibility when you're paid from the public purse.
Local life.
Do you want to know how much my carer's allowance goes up by every April when the tax year changes? £2.
Roberto Peroni.
And is it fair to target people on benefits?
Weekdays from 3. BBC Three Counties Radio.
Depends what the target is. If you're trying to claw back money that's being claimed illegally, then yes, target them. If it's at the end of a rifle, then no, don't target them. Benjamin's about to prank me. Morning, Benjamin.
Good morning, Dan.
What would you like to say, Prank Call Benjamin?
Well, I have a comment on the flag scenario.
Yes?
I just want to say that I think if young people of today, these chavs...
You're listening to a prank call from Benjamin live on BBC Three Counties Radio.
They absolutely should fly the flag, I think.
This is not his real voice.
They put on a lot of...
He's pretending to be a posh old man. I'm guessing he's about, what, 26? Yeah?
Government coffers, and if they want to fly the flag, then I think they very well should do fly the flag.
Do you not think the flag's a bit chavvy, Benjamin? I'm engaging in conversation to draw this out as long as possible. It's not working for him, not working for me. Yes, Benjamin. Could be a swear coming up, be careful.
Pick up a very, very nice vintage flag, possibly a navy.
No, I don't think he's a swearer. He could still catch me out with a swear, but I don't think he is.
And fly that.
We'll carry on. Yeah. What vintage? What year do you think it should be?
Anything.
I think he's just a friendly pranker, not a swearer, nothing nasty.
1912 onwards, that sort of thing, you know.
And Benjamin, what year were you born?
Me, I was born in 1980, sir.
Right, but why do you sound like you're in your 70s?
Well,
I'm going to deconstruct him now.
Yeah, maybe it's just hark back to better days, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Do you want to say good? I'll let him off gently. Do you want to say goodbye in your real voice?
Goodbye.
Thank you very much indeed. He didn't want to, but if you want to hear that phone call again, you can hear it in the podcast, dear listener. You can hear that in the podcast.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
As pranks go, it's charming, just not funny. Now, allowing your dog to do one and then, do one, could hit you in the pocket if he does one in central Bedfordshire. I'm talking poops. Dog control orders come into force on the 19th of this month, with owners at risk of a fixed penalty fine for offences like fouling and running free like young hearts in the wrong places. Well, Conservative Brian Spur is Executive Member for Community Services at Central Bedfordshire Council. Morning, Brian.
Good morning, Ian.
Why are these orders necessary, do you think?
Just good sense to have nice clean paths, nice clean play areas and things like that.
I thought there was already... It's been such a long time since I've owned a dog, thank goodness, I'm a cat person. I thought there was legislation in place already to stop dogs dropping one.
Yeah, you're quite right, but we just put them all together. There were loads of different ones, and we've just put them all together in one, so that it covers all the areas that it should do.
OK, so and it says that if you can be fined if you're spotted by a park ranger or a dog warden or a council officer. I didn't know any of those three things still existed anymore. I missed the parky.
Yeah. Go, have a walk round Stockgrove Park, have a walk round one or two other areas like that. Sorry, I should have said Rush Park, not Stockgrove.
Yeah, get the right park, right. So what, is there still a parky there?
Yeah, well, there are rangers and people going around there all the time. We don't call them park keepers anymore.
I'm showing my age, aren't I?
Yeah.
Is
that your real voice, or is that
Wasn't he awful, Brian? We let these saps come on every now and then. It's good to give them some oxygen. Dogs can't be let off in cemeteries as well?
Yeah, if you were at a cemetery and a dog came along and it's happened that they start digging at a grave, you're not very happy, are you?
No, you'd be a little bit disappointed, I suppose. And so just with the children's play areas where there are swings and things, you can't let them off the lead.
Oh.
Are there other areas in parks where you can let them off the lead?
Yeah, well, in some of our parks, yeah. Basically, it's where kids play, where football pitches are, where pitches are, where you really don't want a dog to go there and do something and leave it there. Yeah. That kids then fall on it and do that.
Oh yeah, I've got two little boys. I don't want them treading in that nonsense.
It's a common sense. It's a common sense one. You know that if people got a dog, and we've had dogs all my life except for the last couple of years. You don't want to take it somewhere, leave a mess that some poor kid's going to fall over, or anybody else.
No. And what's this? Have you seen this, Brian? I'm going to say something quite unpleasant. Some people often pick up their dog's mess in their little plastic bags, then they leave it hanging from trees. Have you come across that?
I have.
Why would anyone do that?
Well, mine was quite good. I saw a lady do that. She picked it up and hung it from a tree.
Yeah.
So I went up and said, really not very sensible. It was there. She said, well, young man, which I knew I was in trouble as soon as she said. She said, young man, whatever his dog's name, Doodles does this. I walk this way. When I come back, I pick it up and I then put it back in the bin. Oh. I don't like leaving it on the floor because other dogs come and do stuff on top of it. Oh, she didn't actually tell the truth because it was still there the next day.
Oh, that's a weird thing to do. It is one of those... I think it's really sad that we have to have legislation for this. If you got a dog and it does a whoopsie... pick it up. That's your responsibility. You're right, Brian. It's common sense, and it's a shame that more people don't seem to... How will you judge if this has been a success?
If we find less dog poo.
And is that your job to go out on a dog poo hunt?
Yeah, I think I should do that so I get really elected. I go around all the children's playground and see what dog poo there is.
Well, Brian, listen, you've been a good sport this morning. I hope it works, because, as I say, I've got two boys. I don't want them... You're constantly... Look out! Mind the poo! Mind the poo. It's quite often it's their own, but never mind. That's Conservative Brian Spur. Councillor Brian Spur. 08459 455 555 is the phone number.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, yeah. Hope you're enjoying your breakfast, guys. Hope you're enjoying your breakfast. There's a job, isn't it, having to go around... Why do people do that? Why do people collect their dog poo in a little red, opaque plastic bag and then hang it from a tree? What is that, to ward off evil spirits? Is that their own form of exorcism? Gosh. We've been speaking this morning about Billy McKinley. I'm talking football. He was Watford's manager, coach, whatever it was. Head coach, thank you. For a week, and he's off. What's the shortest job you've ever had? Phil, what's the shortest job you've ever had?
I had one for about an hour.
Oh, wait, what?
Maximum of 1 hour.
What happened?
Well, I did an apprenticeship in mechanical engineering for 4 years, qualified or whatever. Then I decided I'd have a break for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Then I thought, well, there was quite good money in mechanical engineering, so I thought maybe I'll get back into it.
Get a few quid, yeah, lovely.
Got myself a job, and here I was drilling these holes, and I thought, no, I can't cope with this, and I thought, no, it's not for me, so that was it.
But did you do the thing that I've always wanted to do and never managed to do? Did you walk out and just never come back, or did you go to the boss and say, "This isn't for me, mate, I'm off"?
I went to the foreman and said, I'm sorry, but this is just not for me. So.
Oh, mate, well done. Because I have been in so many jobs where I've wanted to do that, and I haven't. I've got this weird, I believe it's called work ethics, where I kind of have to stay there until the job is done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm very reliable now. I mean, obviously I worked in the casino business. I stayed at one place for 15 years.
Blimey.
After that, which is quite sad, really, isn't it? But,
I don't think that is sad. People don't tend to. Do you remember? I don't know how old you are. I remember that when people had jobs for life, literally for life, 50 years they'd be working in the same place.
Well, you're right. I mean, where I'm working now, one of the guys, they restructured last year, but up until that point, he'd been there since he was 18, and he's now retired. He was retiring age.
Blimey. Give that man, Philip, give that man a gold watch. Thank you. 08459 455 555. Dave Luton.
Good morning, boss.
Good morning, darling.
Yeah, good morning. Don't call me darling. No, okay, pal. Get a bit fruity, eh?
A little bit fruity. Well, a little bit fruity. Come on.
Yeah,
what you got for us, David?
I had a big laugh this morning.
Why? What happened?
Well, your trousers welded to your skin.
Oh, mate, flipping out. Don't
laugh.
No. It really hurt.
No, I don't care. We had a big laugh.
What, because I was in agony?
Yeah, because you think of that little 5-year-old boy at his head on the post. You laughed.
Yeah, but that was different.
You're cruel. No, it wasn't.
I'm still scarred. He'll have forgotten it now, right? This happened to me 24 years ago. I still remember the pain. I'm scarred.
You with pain? I can't imagine it with you with pain. You've never got no pain.
I got shot in the groin by water that was like 300,000 degrees centigrade.
What about that little boy at 5 years old? Yeah, with all that big bump on his head.
Nah, he'd be all right.
He could be in pain now.
You should look where he's learned a lesson. Look where you're going.
No, your wife was right. You're cruel.
So it was cruel for me to laugh at a 5-year-old walking into a lamppost.
Yeah. So we're all I bet everyone's laughing now on the radio that you caught your skin welded onto your trousers. Good. Hello? Oh, he's gone. Yeah, hello. And about Watford General Hospital and these cancer people, breast cancer.
I'm back.
I think it's a disgrace.
Is it a hell mess?
Hell mess. But I think it's a
Hey, Dave, can you help me? I've got a friend of mine, Scott, right? Yeah. And he's quoting you. His catchphrase now is, "It's a hell's mess." Right?
Well,
that's not what you say, is it?
No, a hell mess.
Say it again.
Hell mess.
Say it again really slowly.
No, mess. Yeah.
Yeah, say it again really slowly.
Hell mess.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Say it again.
Oh, I think it's disgusting.
No, not that one. The hell mess.
Tough, mate.
Just say it.
Tough, mate.
Say it.
Tough, mate.
All right.
Oh, well.
What do you like, Dave?
I like the mushy peas.
Okay, how does that make you feel?
Humanoid.
All right. Yeah. Bit of a mess, isn't it?
Hell mess.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling, Dave.
Okay, see you later, mate.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the M1, on the sensors, very heavy at the moment, heading southbound between junction 11 at Dunstable Road and junction 9 for Redbourne. The M25 building up, heading anti-clockwise between junction 21 for the M1 and junction 16 at the M40. Take a look in Hemel Hempstead, the A41, that's starting to build up between Two Waters Road and junction 20 for the M25. And the M40, there's one lane closed, heading northbound between junction 2 for Beaconsfield and junction 3 for Loudwater. That's following an accident that happened a little earlier on this morning. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Watford General Hospital has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for 7 consecutive months. More than 100 people had to wait more than 2 weeks to see a specialist. Hospital figures show the number of patients being seen within the targeted time fell to 11% in July. New dog control orders will start in central Bedfordshire later this month in a bid to cut down on dog fouling. Owners who don't comply will face an £80 fine. And dozens of people who came into contact with a nurse who's contracted the Ebola virus in Madrid are being monitored for signs of the disease. The nurse is the first person in the current outbreak to be infected outside West Africa.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Watford could be about to lose their third head coach in just 6 weeks. Billy McKinlay looks set to leave the club after just over a week in charge. More from Jeff Doyle.
Troubling times for the Hornets. Reports suggest that Billy McKinlay is to leave Watford after just 8 days in charge. McKinlay is being strongly linked to the Fulham job. The Scot became Watford head coach following Oscar Garcia's departure due to ill health. The Spaniard had taken over from the Italian Beppe Sannino, who'd been under pressure since the beginning of the season. On the pitch, Watford are joint top of the Championship. Off the pitch, the club is in a mess.
There are Johnston's Paint Trophy matches tonight for Milton Keynes Dons and Luton. The Dons host AFC Wimbledon for the second time this season, but have several players missing, injured and on international duty. Manager Cole Robinson will bring in the likes of Tom Hitchcock, Samir Carruthers and new arrival Carl Baker.
Tom Hitch will make his starting debut, so I'm looking forward to that. And Samir, we brought Samir in to play centre midfield in case one day Dele may have to go. So there's an opportunity for Samir to show me he can play centre midfield. Carl Baker will be on the bench, he can play 30 minutes.
Luton manager John Still says he'll field a strong side at home to Crawley as the Hatters play in the competition for the first time since lifting the trophy at Wembley in 2009. And there's commentary on MK Dons and Luton in tonight's Three Counties Sport from 7. In non-league football, Boreham Wood are top of Conference South after last night's 2-1 win over St Albans. Tonight Bishop Stortford host Bromley. In the Southern League Premier, Hitchin lost 4-3 at home to St Neots. Tonight there are home matches for Chesham and for Dunstable. And in badminton, Milton Keynes made a losing start to the new National League last night with a 4-1 defeat at home to Surrey in front of the television cameras in Middleton Hall at the Centre MK. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 8.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's a busy old morning this morning. Lots to talk about. The Chavy flag of St George. It's Chavy, apparently. And I think it is a little bit I don't buy into this whole flag-waving nonsense anyway.
No, I quite like the Jubalympics.
Yeah.
I quite liked a bit of that. I made some little ribbons for the girls' hair out of Union Jack ribbon. I didn't go St George Cross ribbon. Probably because I'm a snob.
It is a bit chavvy. It is a bit chavvy. You see it hanging out of bathrooms and bedroom windows on blocks of flats, and it's horrible, and it's dirty, and it's mucky, and it's unpleasant.
I prefer the whole Great Britain thing anyway, and it's a bolder flag. No. It's more inclusive. I also don't see the point in waving a flag within your own country.
Here we go. Look, this is interesting. Part of this survey, this social anthropologist, Kate Fox, said 83% of the English feel some pride in their country, with only 3% never feeling proud of it. I'm in that 3%. I don't get the pride in the country.
I wasn't bothered, but I've been foreign. I think if you've been foreign...
What, up north?
No, when I lived abroad.
Yeah.
I remember coming back when I'd been in France for a while, and I came back on the Eurostar and just feeling that sense of relief that I was with my own again.
Well, you can feel relief, and I'm glad I live here. There are worse places to live. I don't feel pride.
It's quite beautiful, actually.
But I don't feel pride in that. I'm not proud that there's some nice fields and we've got good cows. I'm not proud of that.
There are things I'm proud of about the country.
What?
Some of the music, I
like it.
Your Benjamin Brittens and all that,
But I like the Beatles. I'm not proud of them.
Shared heritage.
I'm not proud of
that. Sense of humour, fair play.
I think Jimmy Tarbuck's very... Why am I referring to people from Liverpool in the 60s?
No, you're not even Scouse, are you?
I don't think so, kids. Hey!
All right, Sla.
There we go. That's what I was doing, I was in the Beatles,
Oh.
Not sure which Beatle that was, but it was certainly one of them.
Sounds a bit like Ringo from Scylla, who went from being Ringo to being Irish.
I'm Irish Ringo Starr, and I was in the Beatles. Anyway, that was a good voice. I didn't know I could do that. I'm not proud of being. Oh, I would have pride in being English. I bet someone who's proud is this fellow. You right, Justin?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course I'm proud.
But where? Where is the pride? What for?
Well, first of all, we've got some lovely cows in this country, as you mentioned.
That's my team you're talking about.
No, we have got some lovely cows. No, when I think about this country, I think we have got some very unique people. We have characters in this country. Yeah, we have history. We have beautiful countryside. We have wonderful music.
All countries have got history. They're countries.
Look at the Americans. They would love to be here living with us.
Well, they love our country. The Americans have only got 235 years of history because they don't count the thousands of years that people were living there before that.
Yeah, but that is why they're proud. That is why they are flag wavers.
They are proud because they kicked the Native American in the ass and sold them, bought all their land off them for a bottle of whiskey and then killed them.
Do you know what I think? Because I think there's still a level of insecurity there. They're still finding their identity as people.
The Americans have got nothing to be proud of. They killed everybody who lived there or ripped them off. They bought America with beads.
Oh, listen.
With beads.
Do you know what? Those people love their country. They fly that flag.
Those people love beads.
They love their country. They fly their flag with pride. And I think that we should be taking a leaf out of their book.
And they defend it with guns.
How many people do you hear about in this country who moan about it, saying, oh, this country, it's gone to the dogs, it's absolutely awful? Well, if you feel like that, go.
Do you know why they say that? Because we're here to stay. We've been here for millennia.
I like this country. There are really much worse places you could live in.
Absolutely.
Right? Much worse places. It's quite a good place to live. There are better places to live in, but it's quite a good place to live in. But I'm not proud of that. Why am I proud that I came out of my mum on this bit of rock? That's where the pride is. It was luck.
I just find that a great shame. I really do.
Well, and the thing is, I know you genuinely do find it a great shame, but...
We are getting deep, but seriously, I do find it a great shame. I think it's very, very sad.
OK, 08459 455 555 is the phone number. I want to talk to you later on about this kid I saw walking into a pole as well, Justin, whether it was funny or cruel. But before that...
OK.
Billy McKinley.
Yeah.
Watford. You're loving this.
I just find it fascinating because Watford, with all their troubles with managers this season, and Billy McKinley looks set to leave today after just 8 days in charge, after all of the managerial merry-go-round going on there, they are still second in the table. I just find the whole thing absolutely incredible. So,
can I ask a question? Right. Do they need a manager? Because what does the manager do? Does he sort out which teams they're going to play and who sits where on the bus?
Not quite that, no.
Right.
What he does, he organises the tactics. Does he go for a 4-4-2? Does he go for a 3-5-2? Whatever he's doing, he's in charge of that team. So results, whether they win, lose or draw, whatever happens, it's all down to him. He is the mastermind of any team's success. So yes, every team needs a decent manager.
Why? Well, they've had 3 in 6 weeks, so they don't.
But yeah, I suppose there's an argument there.
This is the thing. This honestly gets me angry. What I don't get about managers and coaches and all this stuff, right? So the team plays badly in the first half. So he gives them a talk in the intermission, right, in the dressing room. And what does he say? Right, you stop letting goals in. You get more goals in their side. Now go on there, guys. What does he say? They know what they've got. They know the rules. They know the point of football.
Yeah, but it's all to do with tactics, isn't it?
Oh, no, it's not, mate. But you, the guy with the gloves on, you catch the ball when it comes towards you.
Yeah, that's true.
The guy at the front of the thing, go and score.
But you've got 11 players on a pitch. If 11 players went onto that pitch and did exactly what they wanted to and ignored their manager, it would be absolute chaos out there. You need to have some sort of organisation, i.e., to compare it to your programme, are you going to come in this morning and just do whatever you want to? You'll do a bit of that, of course you will, but there's got to be some sort of procedure in place.
Who's my Billy McKinley?
Your Billy McKinley would be Catherine Boyle, your producer.
If only she'd leave after a week. Did that come out loud? Whoa, is it? Whoa! This microphone's doing that thing where it's making me... It says different things to the thing I'm actually saying.
Spooky. Very spooky. Bit harsh.
Justin, shortest job, please. You've taken this to the streets.
I have. For me, it was 2 days working in a sales job, and I said, ta-da. But just to let you know, we have set the bar very high.
You would literally have just said ta-da as well. Ta-da! I'm off. Not for me.
Bye. Later. I've set the bar very high with this one. I've taken this one to the streets, asking people about their shortest ever job. Here's what people had to say.
to the street, taking it to the...
Taking it to the streets with J-Dog.
Darren, tell us your story. Your shortest ever job.
I got an agency job for a warehouse, chilled warehouse. It was a night shift. I think it was like 10 o'clock until 4 in the morning. And I lasted until about 12.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You didn't even make it through your first shift?
No, I didn't do it.
Was it just too cold for you?
Too cold, and I was like sleepwalking. I was knackered. I wasn't used to it, so...
Wow.
Yeah.
Not even one shift. I don't think anybody is going to beat that. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Yeah, post office.
How many days?
2 weeks.
What went wrong?
They give me the longest route in Luton.
Stephanie, we're doing the Billy McKinley phone-in this morning.
Yeah.
What's the shortest job you've ever had?
I was in a bakery, and after 3 days I was tired of waking up in 2 a.m. or something like this.
So you said, enough's enough. I'm out of here.
I had no fun with it, no. It's just not funny.
What about all the cakes, though? That must have been fun.
I'm not the sweet girl.
Got confused with your sex there for a second. 3 days, we'll take it. Thank you very much.
Vauxhalls.
For how many days?
No, our hot summer, 1976, 2 weeks.
Why'd you leave?
Well, that was doing my heading.
And that was 76?
Yeah.
And that beef...
Our hot summer.
Yeah. And that beef hasn't left you, has it?
No. If I'd have been there now, I'd have been there 38 years.
Good maths. Thanks for your time, sir.
All right.
Justin, stop flirting with the men and indeed some of the women when you do this job, please.
I would say to you, beat this. That first person, not even one shift.
Yeah.
He lasted about 3 hours. He was too cold. He went home.
When he said it was a chilled warehouse, I thought, that's the sort of place I'd want to work. But he meant a cold one.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I've never been able to... I've been in jobs that I've hated, and I've always had to stick them out to the end.
But why? If you don't like something, go.
I've got that thing of not quitting.
Yeah, I've got that. I was brought up to have a work ethic, Justin, which I think is the problem with. I'm going to say
what are you saying?
Young people today.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you haven't got it, mate.
Hey, listen, and some of those speakers there, it was a bit early. Oh, it was a bit boring. Get on with it. You're earning money. Just get your eye on the clock and keep moving.
It's my opinion. Life is way too short. If you don't like something, there are plenty of other jobs out there. Go and do another job.
Hang on, sorry. It's not 1959. There's no other jobs out there.
Who says that? You get anybody on right now who works in recruitment, they would tell you there are plenty of jobs out there for people who work hard.
They would. They work in recruitment.
Why don't we ask one of the, I'm not sure if it's shy or over 2 million people who are out of work, if there's plenty of work out there.
Well, I was looking through my paper last week, and there are plenty of jobs from what I can see. If I was to lose my job today, I would certainly be applying for a whole host of those jobs. There are jobs out there. That is nonsense for you to say there aren't.
Well, what's your message then, Justin, to the 2 million people who don't have jobs?
Go and have a look. Go and find a job. And if you don't like the job you're in, try something else. It's not rocket science.
The thing is, I when I was doing these miserable jobs, and I spoke about cleaning test tubes in a laboratory, hated it. It was one of the most miserable times of my life. But while I was doing it, man, I was dreaming about doing not quite this, but something along these lines. I was, it drove me on to achieve what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah, no, I'd probably go along with that in saying that around, 5 years ago, I did a job for about a year that I absolutely hated. I was earning decent money, but I absolutely hated it. And now it makes me appreciate my job even more. So I'd certainly back you up on that.
But Justin, just finally, just to reiterate, so there's 2 million people who don't have jobs. Your message is, you're not looking hard enough.
I didn't say that, did I? I'm just saying there are plenty of jobs out there.
So go out there and look.
Well, yeah, if you haven't got a job...
So your implication is... Hang on. Your implication is... You're not saying go out there and look harder. You're actually saying go out there and look. The implication being they're not looking.
I didn't say that, did I? I said there
Come on, Terry Duris.
No, hang on. I didn't say that. I said there are plenty of jobs out there, and there could be a job that's absolutely perfect for you. If you're going to sit here and tell me there are no jobs out there, well, have a look on any recruitment website, have a look in any newspaper. Yeah. There are plenty of jobs out there.
So those 2 million people who don't have jobs, they should look harder.
Didn't say that.
Well, tell me what you're saying.
I just told you what I said. I just said there are jobs out there.
So they should go out there and look.
Well, yeah, if you haven't got a job, go and look, yes.
So they're not looking...
Didn't say that.
Oh, wait, we might get some calls on this, Just.
Yeah. I don't think I ever want to be a guest on your show.
I want to be a guest on your show. When are you going to make that happen?
Soon.
Justin, nice work. Excellent stuff. We'll speak to you a little bit later on. 08459 455 555. So, dear 2 million unemployed, there are jobs out there. There are jobs out there. If you don't like your job, go and find another one. There are jobs out there.
Ask a recruitment consultant. Yeah, it's their job to tell you there are jobs out there.
08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off in Dunstable, the A5, the High Street South at the moment is partially blocked just at Friars Walk. There's been an accident there causing these delays. The M1 heading southbound heavy between junction 11 at Dunstable Road and junction 9 for Redbourne. And having a look so far at the M25 heading anti-clockwise, heavy on the sensors between junction 21 the M1 and junction 16 for the M40. Rather slow moving on the M40 on camera heading northbound from the Denham roundabout to the M25. And in Bournemouth, the Barnet bypass, that's looking heavy between Stirling Corner and Mill Hill Circus. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Nicola, thank you very much indeed. I do like it when Justin and I have a proper Barney on the radio. If you ever hear me and Justin locking horns, it's genuine, guys. There ain't none of that scripted nonsense here. 7:46. It's Tuesday, the 7th of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Watford General Hospital has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for 7 consecutive months, with more than 100 people waiting more than 2 weeks to see a specialist. New dog control orders will start in central Bedfordshire later this month in a bid to cut down on dog fouling. And in sport, Watford could be about to lose their 3rd head coach in 6 weeks. Billy McKinlay looks set to leave the club after just over a week in charge. What's the shortest job you've ever had? 08459 455 555. We'll speak to Richard in Stevenage in a second, find out what his was. But before that, let's get the weather.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. We've got some heavy storms out there this morning, or some heavy showers at least. The storms seem to have passed in the majority. We may still get 1 or 2 out towards the eastern parts, but towards the west we're already seeing the sunshine. The clouds are parting, they're moving north and eastwards, accompanied by a southwesterly breeze, so we should get some decent sunshine really as we head through the remainder of the day. Still 1 or 2 isolated showers around, but certainly not like the showers we saw earlier on this morning. The temperature a touch warmer than yesterday as well. We're looking at a maximum of around 15 Celsius. Overnight, clear spells at first mean the temperature will drop fairly quickly, but the cloud increasing from the south through the night with it an increased breeze from the south means it will actually feel a touch milder by the time we get through to dawn. The minimum temperature though, 6 Celsius. Some bands of heavy, slow-moving showers for Wednesday, risk of thunder, and a maximum temperature of 17 Celsius. And that's your forecast.
Thank you very much. Music!
Get ready. This is going to be an incredible collaboration.
The lead singer of one of the biggest bands of this decade.
On stage with one of the UK's most promising breakthrough artists.
And an absolute legend of British rock.
It's going to be very special.
An unmissable BBC Music performance.
Oh, I'm busy.
27 artists.
One song.
Tonight from 8 across the BBC.
OK.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
That's the sound of Richard in Stevenage. Good morning, Richard.
Hey.
Richard, what have you got for us? Short jobs?
It wasn't my job, but I work in IT.
Yeah.
And a guy I used to work with, he decided to go and work on a cruise ship.
Oh, yeah.
So he left on the Friday at work, and on that weekend he flew out to Copenhagen to get on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first night he was there, he went out on the lash a little bit and come back drunk when there's a strict no alcohol policy on board the cruise ship for staff.
Yeah.
So he stumbled back to the ship and fell asleep in one of the cabins to be found by a member of staff. Now the member of staff told him that he couldn't be there and he needed to move himself. And he politely told them to do one.
Oh, crikey.
and it turned out to be the captain of the ship.
Yeah, he told the captain to jog on in no uncertain terms.
Basically, so he was put into solitary confinement, from what I understand.
Solitary confinement on a cruise ship? Where was this cruising to? Belarus?
Well, he was put in isolation until the captain decided what to do with him. And when he was invited in, he was told that they haven't fully decided what they're going to do with him. He can either stay on board the cruise ship
or walk the plank.
Or leave now, because they said if they sail off to, I don't know, Barbados or Caribbean, and they decide to get rid of him, he'll have to find his own way back from there at his own expense.
Oh.
So he decided to leave himself, pay for the plane back to the UK, and he actually was back at work in the original place the following week.
Oh. Well done, Richard. Listen, it's not the greatest of lines, so I'm going to let you go. Well done, but for a second, did your ears not prick up at the thought of finding your own way back from Barbados? Doesn't that sound like the coolest adventure? You're stranded in Barbados. All you've got are your wits and your mind and your body to try and earn passage back home? Doesn't that sound exciting? By the way, here's a new phone in. Ever spoken to a captain? Ever spoken to a captain? I was going to say ever sworn at a captain, but that may be a little bit too niche, even for us. Ever spoken to a captain? Can be a captain of a ship, captain of an aeroplane, or a captain of industry. Have you ever spoken to a captain? 08459 455 555. Tony's in Luton. Morning, Tony.
Hello, good morning.
Ever spoken to a captain?
No.
No, neither have I. Neither have I. I'd love to.
Me too.
What's your shortest job, Tony?
Hi there. I'm a site manager in the building, which I've been doing for 15 years.
Gosh, you must be tired.
Yeah. And then there's plenty of jobs all over around. I don't know why, but lots of times we employ lots of people, right? They come with they didn't work for a year, but they're so lazy they want to work. They come 2 days, 3 days, and they leave.
Okay, so this is what Justin was saying, that there are plenty of jobs out there if people just go and look for them.
Exactly, and then because they're so lazy being at home and they don't want to come to work.
But Tony, I couldn't work on a building site.
It's interesting. I've been doing it for a long time.
But you listen. There is a skill to building that I certainly couldn't do if I were out of work. And let's be honest, it's going to happen one day. I couldn't come to a building site and work. I'm not strong. I'm not I couldn't do that job.
Go and look for something you want to do it then. But I didn't know nothing when I started, so I pick up on that. You have to be interested in something. You like
Tony, I am picking up from you. I'm hearing a slight accent. Where are you from?
Albania.
Albania. Do you think, and there is a relevance to me asking that there is a difference between the attitude of Albanians, Polish, Romanians towards work that's a different attitude to that maybe of the British?
I could say no, because when I came here when I came here I was 18. And then I studied English, right in Southgate, so I learned for carpentry work as well.
Yeah.
And then since then I was working every day. I don't remember myself a day of work.
Do you think the English are lazy?
Yeah.
Tony, you're breaking up. Do you think the English are lazy?
My English is lazy.
No, not your English. Your English is, I was going to say excellent. I'm just going to bring it down to very good. Do you think English people are lazy? I'm going to take that as a yes. There's Tony there in Albania who thinks that English people are lazy. Didn't actually say that.
No, you said that.
Putting words into his mouth.
I mean, he didn't disagree.
No, so...
I'm not entirely sure he hear you.
So Tony from Luton did not say... Tony from Luton did not say... He did not say that the English are lazy. You take from that what you will, dear listener. I know what I'm taking from it.
Tony didn't say it.
He didn't say it. He did not say it. So... extrapolate.
Double negative.
Thank you very much indeed. So basically, you want your response to Tony, please. 08459. The telephone number. Now, we've been following the case of a Watford man looking to be rehoused by the council after his current landlord decided to sell up. Steve was forced to give up work after damaging his neck and his back quite badly. He was fixing a boiler and something clicked and twisted and something shifted and he was in agony. He wants to move, but he also wants to keep his dog Lionel with him. As friends say, the pet is the only thing that keeps him going. Well, Steve's on the line now. Morning, Steve. Steve? we'll get Steve back. Steve seems to have disappeared. A little recap. So he was going to be moved out of his flat. Council couldn't find him someplace with his dog. And then they did find him someplace with his dog. And then that place fell through, Steve. So we weren't quite sure where you were now.
Good morning.
Morning, Stephen.
At the moment, it's got no better than when I last spoke to you. I'm still looking for a place at the moment, and Watford Council haven't said that they're going to help me.
Right. So what's all this I've heard about a campsite?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been searching through various different Gumtree, etc., trying to find maybe a static home, maybe a caravan, something like that. And I managed to get hold of a campsite in Chorleywood that will take me and the dog for a few weeks.
You're going to go to a campsite?
Yeah.
Mate, it's October and it's freezing.
I know, but it's the only option. Watford Council told me last week that they're not in the business of rehoming pets, so I'm not prepared to give up my animal that have taken the time to.
So you stay at the campsite. You stay at the campsite. Who's told you it would be for a few weeks?
Well, it may be for even longer than a few weeks. At the moment, they've got over 140 people in temporary accommodation.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I stand on the list, where I'm number one or whether I'm number 140. But if I continue to have the stance where I won't rehome my pet, then basically I think they'll just do away with it. They'll just say, that's it, we're not going to help you at all.
Well, you can't live on a campsite. You've got a poorly back, haven't you?
I have, yeah, I have. I've got a...
Well, that's not going to make things... That's going to make things worse, surely.
Well, if my health suffers, my health suffers. I'm not going to give up an animal. Like I said to you, he's my best friend. He's been there for me for the past 3 years when I've been ill, so I'm not going to turn my back on him. I wouldn't ask anybody to have their child adopted, so I'm not going to.
Steve,
I'm not going to adopt my pet.
We have followed this story very closely. I know it's. We've had lots of listeners getting in touch. By the way, all the listeners getting in touch, sending us letters saying they want to send Steve money. Don't send it to us because we can't do anything about that. But I know this has touched lots of people, Steve, and I've certainly been understood your connection with your pet. But isn't it time to get rid of Lionel?
No, that's not an option. I'm 100%. I would rather stay in a tent, as I've told you before, and come on the show than get rid of my pet. I'm sorry. It means so much to me. Yeah, he's been with me 24/7 ever since I've had my accident, so it's not an option, I'm afraid.
Can I speak freely, Steve? You can take it. Sure. You're right. Is there not an argument that by putting Lionel in a tent with you, that actually... It's not the best situation for him, that maybe a better home with a loving family could be found for him? I say better, I mean not in a tent. I don't mean necessarily, a home could be found for him, and then you'd also get a property as well.
There is that argument, but we have this special... We've got a bond between us, and I know he does suffer terrible absence issues when he's not with me. I've been away for 24-hour periods, obviously with hospital appointments. And every time I've come back, they've always said that I don't know how you're going to get on if you have to leave him for any length of time, because he did suffer the whole time that he was away from you. So, and that is with friends that see him on a daily basis and know him very, very well. I know it sounds silly and pig-headed, but no, I don't really... I'm not going to give up my pet. I love him so much, and that's it.
I know you do, Steve. When do you think you might move into the campsite?
Well, Friday is the day of the eviction day. I possibly have an option for a couple of weeks to stay with a friend while some building work is going on at their property, but that's only
Steve,
something in there.
Listen, I wish you and Lionel the very best of luck. If it's okay with you, one of my team will give you a call next week just to kind of catch up and see where you are, because I know it's a story that's touched lots of people.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off in Dunstable, the A5, the High Street South at the moment is partially blocked, just at Friars Walk due to an accident that's happened there. The M1 rather heavy between junction 9 at Redbourne and junction 10 for Luton Airport Spur Road, and the M25 looking heavy anti-clockwise between junction 21 the M1 and junction 16 for the M40. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Nicola. So, 2 million people out of work. There's jobs out there, says Justin Dealey. If you disagree, well, maybe you can go head to head with him. Also, the flag of St George. It's quite chavvy, isn't it?
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Hertfordshire Hospital misses breast cancer targets, new dog controls in central Bedfordshire, and Watford set to lose third coach in 6 weeks.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Watford General Hospital has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for 7 consecutive months. More than 100 people had to wait more than 2 weeks to see a specialist. Hospital figures show the number of patients being seen within the targeted time fell to 11% in July. More from Craig Lewis.
West Hertfordshire Hospital NHS Trust missed its 2-week target to see women with breast cancer symptoms for 7 consecutive months. NHS guidelines state that 93% of patients should be seen within 14 days of being referred by a doctor. The Trust now insists it is in a position to offer all patients with suspected breast cancer an appointment within 14 days after putting on an extra 12 clinics a month.
New dog control orders will start in central Bedfordshire later this month in a bid to cut down on dog fouling. Owners who don't comply will face an £80 fine. Councillor Brian Spur says the orders will take effect from Sunday the 19th of October.
It's a common sense one. You know that. If people got a dog, and we've had dogs all my life except for the last couple of years. You don't want to take it somewhere, leave a mess that some poor kid's going to fall over, or anybody else.
Investigations are underway into how a nurse working at a hospital in Madrid became infected with Ebola while caring for a priest who'd returned to Spain with the virus from Sierra Leone and later died. She's the first person in the current outbreak to contract the disease outside West Africa. A 29-year-old man is in hospital with serious head injuries after being attacked in a Luton street on Saturday afternoon. The man was pulled from his car by 2 men in Douglas Road at 4:15 and was attacked with a hammer. He managed to drive himself to the Luton and Dunstable Hospital but has since been transferred to Attenbrooks in Cambridge. Police say they believe he knew his attackers. The state of police custody suites in Bedfordshire have again been criticised by a national watchdog. It follows an unannounced inspection with the Bedford cells closed as a result. More from Carol Abercrombie.
Inspectors from the Prison Service and Inspector of Constabulary were told that a new custody unit is now being built at Kempston. They welcomed that, but found that of the 26 recommendations made after a previous inspection, only 7 had been achieved. The report criticised staffing levels and highlighted that some children had to remain in custody as there was no provision in the area to accommodate them on bail.
The Liberal Democrat leadership is facing a revolt at the party's annual conference in Glasgow today over a change in policy on airport expansion. Nick Clegg is backing a motion which would overturn the party's blanket opposition to any new runways in the southeast of England. In sport, Watford could be about to lose their third head coach in just 6 weeks. Billy McKinlay looks set to leave the club after just over a week in charge. The Scot is being linked with the vacancy at his former club Fulham just 8 days after replacing Oscar Garcia at Vicarage Road. The weather, a cloudy start with heavy, possibly thundery showers this morning, some sunny spells later, a maximum temperature 15 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/Three Counties.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
The general upkeep of the town is very clean town.
Telling everyone about where you live.
Beautiful local place to walk our dogs around and enjoy the area.
All this week, we're exploring Stevenage.
First time here I did get lost because it's on the grid system. Fantastic community and people with a heart of gold.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks. BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning! Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Coming up, we'll find out just why Watford General has failed people who may or may not have breast cancer. Is the flag of St George chavvy? Be hard pushed to argue it wasn't, I think. And apparently, according to one expert, I say expert, I mean Dealey, there are loads of jobs out there. If you don't like the one you're in, you can jack it in and go and find something else. It's not 1963. And the shortest job you've ever had. It's a busy show this morning. If you want to take part now, would be an excellent time to call 08 459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Caterpillar Kath has got some texts.
We have. With regards to jobs, this is from Monica in Bedford. I recruit people for work around the UK. I often find it extremely difficult to find people who want to work and will stay in the position for longer than 3 months.
How much are you paying them and what is the job?
Well, she says a lot of people don't really care because it's so easy not to work.
No.
It's not the case that British people are lazy. The government makes them stay at home and enjoy their time off.
No.
I had a situation, not once, where someone applied for work and when I called them back I was told they're not really looking for work but needed proof to Job Centre that they're actively looking. If the benefits were cut, people would find the will to work.
Yeah, there are some slackers like that. Of course there are, but most people, I genuinely believe this, and I have to believe this, otherwise I go mad. Most people want to work. Of course there are slackers who want to stay at home getting stoned and watching Jeremy Kyle. You know, good luck to those people, but most people want to work. How much are you paying them and what's the job? If it's minimum wage and it's, you know, cleaning out pigs' bottoms, I don't think that's actually a job.
But there probably is a job that would involve that, but it may not be the only task.
Then you can understand why people wouldn't want to do it.
We've also got some stuff through about the flying flag and whether the English flag is
bit chavvy, yeah.
Xandra from Bedford, don't be such snobs. Fly the flag with pride. Who cares what people think? P.S. I think Justin is great.
Oh, well, OK, right, OK, well, hopefully your UKIP membership will come through soon.
Jodie in Bedfordshire, why should I be proud, you say? I'm astonished. We gave the world... drumroll. Kendall mint cake and buttered crumpets, not to mention human rights. OK, our footy team leaves a lot to be desired and St George was a migrant, but if hanging a flag out the window is classed as chavvy, well, how would you display patriotism?
I wouldn't. I don't believe in patriotism. I think it's a load of old guff. I think it's the most pointless, made-up thing that we have instilled in us so that we don't go around realising, hey, guys, we're all the same. And
I think it's very un-English to make a song and dance about stuff.
She's compared the human rights to Kendall mint cake.
Both essential.
Well, only
in
if
a
you
cold climate.
Only if you go hill walking in November.
As is your right to do.
Because we're British.
If you observe the right paths and that.
I've said this before, and I'm not saying this to be controversial or anything. I don't get the patriotism thing. I don't get it. It's just pure luck and coincidence that I happened to pass through my mother on this bit of rock. That's the phrase, isn't it, I think?
Well, it's your phrase.
Well, I was a baby at the time, I don't remember it. But it's luck. How can you be patriotic about luck and happenstance and pure chance? You can't. Patriotism's a load of old nonsense. There, I've said it. And that's the official line of the BBC. 08459 455 555. Now, Watford General has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for 7 consecutive months. The National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, which still calls itself NICE, I have no idea why, says 93% of patients should see a specialist within 2 weeks. Well, Watford managed to keep that up from April to December last year, but in January they started falling behind, and by July it was only managing 11%. Well, Emma Pennery is the Clinical Director of Breast Cancer Care. Morning, Emma.
Good morning.
How important is it that women are seen as soon as possible if they think they might have breast cancer?
Well, emotionally, of course, it's hugely important. At Breast Cancer Care here, we get so many calls to our helpline from women who are waiting for that hospital appointment to come through. And obviously, the longer the wait, the more anxious they become because they're waiting to hear if they have such a serious disease. Medically, it's a little harder to say because, in fact, the vast majority, more than 90% of people who are referred by their GP to a hospital breast clinic for tests actually won't have breast cancer.
Gosh, that's quite... I didn't realise it was such a high statistic.
Yes, a lot of people are surprised. It's something we say to people who visit us at Breast Cancer Care a lot, that, of course, although we can't say for individuals what the outcome will be, the vast majority of people seen in breast clinics don't have breast cancer.
And also, I wouldn't imagine. I know, as my mother's going through this at the moment. Once you're in the system, if you do have it, it's something that you want to get sorted as soon as possible. And once you're in the system, you've kind of got a week between scans and then a couple of weeks so it can feel like it's dragging on. So I imagine most people want to get it sorted, or at least start that procedure as soon as possible?
Very much. I mean, obviously, if someone goes to the hospital, they want to know if they've got breast cancer or not, and obviously have the huge reassurance if they don't. But if they do have, I completely agree. Waits for tests and for starting treatment are horrible. I mean, the 2-week wait for being seen is part of a bigger picture of targets. So there's also targets about a maximum wait of 31 days for starting that first treatment. So the targets sort of come together to ensure that total process that you're talking about isn't delayed for people.
Watford General Hospital really missed their targets, or the NICE targets, considerably. By July, it was only managing 11% of patients seeing a specialist within 2 weeks. That's pretty poor, isn't it?
It's definitely way below what the target is and then the national average. It's tricky for many hospitals. I can't speak specifically about Watford's circumstances, but we know that more and more people are attending breast clinics every year. The numbers being referred is going up hugely, as is the numbers getting breast cancer is going up each year. So many breast clinics are faced with greater demand, and no extra resources necessarily came with those targets to meet that demand.
One of the reasons that this hospital put forward was the storyline in EastEnders. Now, I haven't watched EastEnders for years. I'm disappointed it's still going on. But do things like soap operas and celebrities who may announce they've got breast cancer, does that increase numbers? Do you get more people getting in touch?
Yes, I think it can do. I mean, it does depend on the sort of story and where it is, but I think any soap stories, that sort of thing, raises awareness in the public eye, and maybe certainly people call our helpline. We've had some people where, for example, they've maybe thought they felt a symptom and not sure, and perhaps seeing that programme has given them the prompt they need to come forward. And we would always say to people, do talk to your doctor as soon as possible if you notice any changes at all.
Emma, thank you very much for your time. That's Emma Pennery, Clinical Director of Breast Cancer Care.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Billy McKinley, Watford football coach, manager, whatever he is, I don't quite know. He's only been in the job 8 days. He's on his way out. What's the shortest job that you've ever had? 08459 455 555. Carpet Martin has emailed in. The shortest job was as a penniless youth bumming around Paris. Excuse me, it continues. I got a job in a small tapas bar as a waiter and look forward to expanding my conversational French by learning new vocab such as patatas bravas and gambas al ajillo. Was that good?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Al ajillo.
Unfortunately, on the first morning, it was
clear... You know what that is?
I couldn't
Garlic prawns.
I had my first prawn the other day, but it was a tiny, tiny one.
Delicious. You'll get used to them. Just don't think about it too much.
No. Unfortunately, on the first morning, it was clear that waiting tables was not part of the job description. And after a morning of peeling potatoes in a small room with one 40-watt bare bulb, I was commanded to clean the staff toilet. I don't know if you've seen Trainspotting, but it was reminiscent of a certain scene in that film. Oh, dear. Those French toilets, I mean, really, those guys, do you not know how to... Oh, dear. Is that hole not big enough for you? Needless to say, I resigned on the spot. The owner was livid and screamed at me, at which point I did manage to expand my French vocab, and actually uttered the words, "You'll never work in Paris again." I took my apron off and threw it at him, turned on my heel and strode out majestically. I'd been there just 2 hours. Turns out he was right, though. I cut my losses and came home after a week later when all my money ran out. It's unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I must have had a short job, but I don't. I think I have got this horrible work ethic that my parents instilled in me. That if you've agreed to do 3 months on a job, even if it sucks,
do it.
You do those 3 months on a job.
You suck it up and get on with it.
But if that's the job, then yeah. And and we've all had to do that at some point.
Yeah.
Is that your mind I can hear?
My mind ditching things I can't say on the radio.
Yeah, I know. I think we're getting pretty close to the knuckle again. That was another job I had. 08459...
Cleaner.
Sure, why not? 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you wanted to give us a call. We're also asking the flag of St George.
Who's printing off a book? Upstairs. Can you pack it in, please?
Pack it in, guys.
I'm going to take all the paper out of the printer.
They don't listen to this show. We know that. We have evidence they don't listen to this show.
What happened to Stephen Luton?
He didn't pick up.
Stephen Luton, what are you playing at?
Twin Peaks is coming back.
Oh, I watched that and have no idea what it was about.
I like the first series. It's great. And I got halfway through the second series, then they revealed who the killer was halfway through the second series.
The dad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I read
Spoiler alert, guys, sorry.
Secret Diary of Laura Palmer. I read that. That was quite rude. That went round the class.
I tell you what I liked in it.
Sherilyn Fenn.
Which one was that?
The one with the beauty mark, the sort of Ava Gardner type.
She really was. I liked the Twin Peaks of Sherilyn Fenn.
Good, wasn't it?
Really excellent. I'm gonna, tell you what, while you're listening to the travel, I'm going to Google her and find out what she looks like now.
She looks like herself, but a bit older.
Thanks.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the A1, the Great North Road, that's queuing at the moment on all approaches to the Black Cat roundabouts. The A1M, rather heavy moving, heading southbound, just around junction 7 for Stevenage. And taking a look so far in Dunstable, the A5, the High Street, is partially blocked because of an accident just at Friars Walk. And the M25, heading anti-clockwise, very slow on the speed sensors between junction 21, the M1, and junction 16 for the M40. The M40 London bound, very slow around junction 4 for the High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout. And so far on the trains, no reported problems or delays. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much indeed. Hey, do you know, I'll tell you exactly who Sherilyn Fenn looks like. Kirsty Allsop.
She does a bit, yeah.
She looks exactly like Kirsty Allsop now.
Our very own Liz Flower.
There we go. Right, it is 8:16. It's Tuesday, the 7th of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Watford General Hospital has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for 7 consecutive months, with more than 100 people waiting more than 2 weeks to see a specialist. New dog control orders will start in central Bedfordshire later this month, in a bid to cut down on dog fouling. And in sport, Watford could be about to lose their 3rd head coach in 6 weeks. Billy McKinley looks set to leave the club after just over a week in charge.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Tonight, the Football League Trophy takes centre stage in Three Counties Sport. We'll bring you 2 games from the second round, including Luton versus Crawley.
We're just less than 90 seconds in. Hatters lead by a goal to 0.
And the grudge match between MK Dons and AFC Wimbledon.
It's game over in this one. It's MK Dons 3, AFC 0.
The Johnstone's Paint Trophy, live in Three Counties Sports, tonight from 7, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Just do that noise again for the listener. Yep, that's right. That's what we talk about when we're off air. Morning.
Good morning.
What you got in your show today?
Dogs.
Hey.
We'll be talking about EastEnders and the rape scene last night that some people felt rather uncomfortable watching on what is supposed to be a family programme.
Yeah.
We'll also talk about old people working for longer. Apparently, we're going to have to work till we're 70 today.
Beautiful.
Yes. That's just
if we're doing this job, which isn't real work, I'm up for that.
Oh, really?
I'm up for that. I mean, look at Tony Blackburn. He's 86 years old. He needs to do the work to pay off various debts. But
right.
I'm happy to do this till 70. It's not a proper job, is it?
Do you think you'll still be the same at 70?
Still be crazy manic phoning. It's a manic phoning, guys. Yeah, I'll still be as rubbish as I am now.
Do you think that you'll sound a bit odd as a 70-year-old doing your style of radio?
I sound a bit odd as a 41-year-old doing this nonsense, to be honest.
No, you can still get away with it because you're still youthful enough.
Get away with it? I'm getting away with it.
Imagine what would be like when you're 80.
Away with it?
Imagine, you can't do this when you're 80.
I'm getting away with it?
See, I can. Morning! On the big phone today.
You're going to go all Cockney when you get older.
Yeah, that's my old voice. Yes.
Oh, gosh. No.
Can you imagine? It'd be awful.
It will be awful, yeah.
For everyone, mainly for the listeners.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, let's talk about it in 40 years' time when we're still here.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, blimey.
Well, we'll still have big mortgages to pay.
Won't we just?
So on my big phone in this morning, quick while we're all still young.
Yes.
Should dogs be kept on a lead in all public places? I know you've been talking about this big local story today. Central Bedfordshire Council have made it an offence to let dogs off the lead in a number of new public places. Currently, dogs can't run free next to A and B roads, but now this law has been extended to cemeteries, sports pitches, car parks and some country parks.
Car parks?
Yes, apparently so.
Car parks?
Yes.
Gosh.
If you're caught with your dog off the lead in a prohibited area, you could be fined £80. But is this legislation too harsh? Or perhaps you think it doesn't go far enough? Maybe you would like to see this kind of legislation introduced all over beds, hearts and bucks, because people who let their dogs off the lead are a blooming nuisance. From 9 this morning, I'd love your views, your experiences. If you are a dog owner, how do you feel about the idea of never being allowed to let your dog off the lead? See, the trouble is, as always, it's the rubbish owners who end up ruining it for everyone else, isn't it? Ultimately, that's what will happen. Yep. The rubbish people who cannot control their dogs, who just let their dogs go running off and pooing in gardens and pooing on footpaths, they will now end up ruining it for everyone in central Bedfordshire. That's really unfair.
Who hangs the dog poo from a tree? Who is that guy? Have you ever seen the little dog bag of dog poo hanging from a tree?
Well, there are some places you go to, and there's lots of bags of dog poo hanging from trees.
Why? Who does that?
I have no idea.
Weird, isn't it?
It's one of the perks of dog walking, particularly in the winter months, that you have 2 little hand warmers in your pocket.
Oh, jeez!
What?
Give out the phone number and the question and then get out of my sight.
Should dogs be kept on a lead in all public places?
Muzzle you.
08459 455 555.
Absolutely disgusting.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Dear me. He's an unpleasant man. I'd put him in a lead and muzzle him. And I'd possibly have him put down after that comment as well.
Can we dock him? His tail is too whippy.
They don't dock Cocker Spaniels anymore.
I've seen a boxer with a whippy tail recently. I think they banned it.
Yeah, they did.
I don't like the ears thing.
No.
But I'm not used to the whippy tail of the boxer. But that's my problem, not the dog's.
My dog's tail is docked.
Sorry?
My dog's tail is docked.
How old is your dog?
10.
What you got?
We got a Jack Russell.
Oh.
She was rescued from
some dockers.
We got her from Battersea.
They normally have tails, Jack Russells.
Yeah.
Do they?
Like, ones like that.
Yeah, a whippy one.
Yeah.
They're the ones they whip
Whereas
off.
Phoebe's is like that big.
Sorry?
Phoebe.
Who?
My dog's called Phoebe.
Wowzers.
What's wrong with a dog named Phoebe?
Now, letting your dog off the lead could cost you £80 if you pick the wrong bit of central Bedfordshire. From the 19th of this month, you could also be fined for failing to pick up your pet's whoopsie. Ryan O'Meara is editor of K9 magazine, a former professional dog trainer and friend of the show. Morning, Ryan.
Good morning.
I kind of thought that, I mean, lots of these rules were in place anyway. About you have to pick up your dog's mess, don't you?
Nail on the head. Don't we love doing that in this country where we have a law and we can't enforce it, so we create some new laws that we can't enforce. It's like the whole underage drinking thing. You're already not allowed to sell booze to underage kids, but they'll come up with about 50 different focus groups and 14 new laws that basically try and emphasise the same thing. As it stands, it's against the law to allow your dog to foul in a public place and not pick it up. You can get fined for that. And it's against the law for your dog to be dangerously out of control in a public place, and you can be imprisoned for that. So ultimately, we've got 2 laws there that perfectly cover all of the antisocial issues that these new laws are trying to eradicate.
Well, there is there one difference in that this new law it also includes having your dog on a lead? Your dog has to be on a lead in certain places. That's slightly different, isn't it?
Well, I would say the key here is if your dog is dangerously out of control, which means it's not on a lead, then it's breaking the law. If your dog's not dangerously out of control, then nobody should really worry. And now, I've got some sympathy in saying don't let your dog run around a children's park. Fair enough. I think that's common sense. But again, there's a children's play area in the park that I go to, and we always put the dog on the lead as we walk past it, and then as they see the green space, they charge into it. So I could potentially fall foul of this law depending on how close I am to the swings. And so, I think it's one of those situations where if we can't already enforce the laws that we've got, then I don't see how we'll enforce this one. You ultimately need somebody at the park, a dog warden, who is able to go, you're a good dog owner, you've let your dog behave well, cleaned up the mess, and you haven't. Now, if we don't have that person there, then basically we're in the same boat, aren't we?
You say if your dog's wildly out of control, things can happen to dogs, can't they? They can be completely sane and calm. Then I had a friend of mine whose dog got stung by a bee, and he went nuts. And you can't predict those things, can you?
You're right. I mean, similar things with fireworks, for example. You can get a perfectly calm dog who hears a loud bang in the distance and all of a sudden becomes a very agitated dog. And I think, again, that comes as part of being a responsible dog owner, which is to understand how dogs think. And the first things you have to understand as a dog owner is that dogs are not people. They don't think like people, and they don't react to situations like people, except for the fact that, like people, they are unpredictable. And so the amount of people who have dogs and think that their dog is completely predictable and is kind of a little talking Disney character is quite frightening. So I think that's a bigger issue that we should tackle, which is just simply educating dog owners to understand how dogs work and trying to avoid dangerous situations like letting your dog chase children around the park.
Who's the fella who keeps hanging the bags of dog poo on the tree?
Well, as disgusting as he is, he's not putting them in his pockets and keeping his hands warm because that's rank.
Isn't that horrible? Thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, I've looked after like 100 dogs and cleaned up tons of the mess, but would I ever stick it in my pocket?
Oh.
Not a chance. Not a chance. But yeah, that guy lives around me as well.
He gets about, doesn't he? Ryan, listen, always a pleasure to talk to you. Ryan O'Meara, editor of K9 Magazine. He's got cats as well, so don't completely write him off, OK, guys? Former professional dog trainer.
The tree hanger lives near me too.
He gets around, that fella, doesn't he? Who is it?
It's like a dirty Christmas tree. If you put it in a bag, you're halfway there. Just stick it in your pocket.
Don't say that to my kids, because my kids would love that.
What?
Dirty Christmas tree. They would flipping love that. Horrible things. Dog poo. That's the thing with the cat. I don't know where she does it.
Yeah, probably your neighbour might have a clue.
Tough. It's tough luck, isn't it? Get a cat. My boys want stick insects now.
Oh, no. Just get them some sticks, I won't notice the difference.
That is a brilliant idea.
Seriously.
I might do that. I went and saw my friend yesterday who's got he's got stick insects. And he had these big ones. They flip it. It's horrible. And he wanted me to touch it. I said, no way, mate. I'm not.
You wouldn't even touch my caterpillar. Hey, guess who's on Fader 1?
Who?
Red Steve.
Steve!
Morning, you commie.
Good morning, Pinko.
Red. What, Red?
Hello, Red Steve. How's it going? Red Robert, what you got for us?
I'm right and white.
OK, that's one way of looking at it. Yeah, go on. What you got?
Which one are we going to be talking about, the flag or the jobs?
Let's go for the jobs first.
Jobs, right. If we didn't have so many immigrants coming here and flooding the market, the British workers would have a high rate of pay and would be willing to go to work. That's one issue.
I think it's great, Steve. I think it's great that the market has normalised itself and that there is real competition out there. Real competition.
No. It's not. They're sending the money home to build lovely houses while we sit in here in our little dungeons, and when we're old, we die a horrible death.
They're not hard workers, though, aren't they?
No, well, the British are the hardest working in the world,
mate. I've told this story before.
Seen them.
Listen, when we got our loft conversion done, right?
Yeah, I told you about that. Let's not go down the loft conversion.
The Polish people turned up 7:30 every morning, and they would sometimes leave 7:30 in the evening. We felt a bit bad, so we got two English teams in, one to install a window, one to lay the floor, right? The people laying the floor turned up at 10:30 in the morning, went home at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It took them 3 days. They could have done it in one. The window was 6 weeks late. Ladies and gentlemen, I rest my cases. I take my hat off. I go to sleep in the spare room.
Steve, whenever I get a tradesman or try to get a tradesman, he does that thing of, well, I can't do it this week.
Oh, busy,
you might be lucky next month. You wouldn't get that.
If you're busy, your people are busy. They're busy.
Who's this in the background? Who's your comrade?
Oh, it's another white who's right.
OK, Steve, thank you. We're kind of bordering a little bit on the edge of language. It makes me
bordering?
Slightly uncomfortable, yes. If anyone, he's white and he thinks he's right. So that's actually a statement of fact. But if anyone found that offensive, then... Enough, I'll work this morning.
Steve. It's Steve's mouth.
It's Steve in Luton. if you want to go and find him. It's hard work this morning, isn't it? I'm really feel like I'm running uphill.
OK, well, why don't you just have a little breather?
Yeah.
And we'll find out what's going on the road.
Sweet.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the M1, it's very heavy heading southbound between junction 11 at Dunstable Road and junction 9 for Redbourne. In Dunstable, it's queuing at the moment on the A5, the High Street South at Friars Walk. That's following an accident that happened a little earlier there. In Ware, the A10 heading southbound's partially blocked on the entry slip road from the A602 to Westmill Road. That's due to an accident that's happened there as well. And the M25 anti-clockwise, very slow on the sensors between junction 21, the M1, and junction 16, the M40. And taking a look at the train so far this morning, no problems or delays. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30, I'm Simon Oxley. Watford General Hospital has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for 7 consecutive months. More than 100 people had to wait more than 2 weeks to see a specialist. Hospital figures show the number of patients being seen within the targeted time fell to 11% in July. New dog control orders will start in central Bedfordshire later this month in a bid to cut down on dog fouling. Owners who don't comply will face an £80 fine. And the Liberal Democrat leadership is facing a revolt at the party's annual conference in Glasgow today over a change in policy on airport expansion. Nick Clegg is backing a motion which would overturn the party's blanket opposition to any new runways in South East England.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Watford could be about to lose their third head coach in just 6 weeks. Billy McKinlay looks set to leave the club after just over a week in charge. More from Jeff Doyle.
Troubling times for the Hornets. Reports suggest that Billy McKinlay is to leave Watford after just 8 days in charge. McKinlay is being strongly linked to the Fulham job. The Scot became Watford head coach following Oscar Garcia's departure due to ill health. The Spaniard had taken over from the Italian Beppe Sannino, who'd been under pressure since the beginning of the season. On the pitch, Watford are joint top of the Championship. Off the pitch, the club is in a mess.
There are Johnston Spain Trophy matches tonight for Milton Keynes Dons and Luton. The Dons host AFC Wimbledon for the second time this season, but have several players missing, injured and on international duty, so Tom Hitchcock and Samir Carruthers will start. Luton manager John Still says he'll field a strong side at home to Crawley.
And as everybody knows, I want the individuals to flourish, I want the individuals to get better, I want the individuals to grow. But the team's the most important thing, so it's, you have to take everything into context.
And there's commentary on MK Dons and Luton in tonight's Three Counties Sport from 7. In non-league football, Boreham Wood are top of Conference South after last night's 2-1 win over St Albans. Tonight, Bishop Stortford host Bromley. In the Southern League Premier, Hitchin lost 4-3 at home to St Neots. Tonight, there are home matches for Chesham and Dunstable. And in badminton, Milton Keynes made a losing start to the new National League last night with a 4-1 defeat at home to Surrey in front of the television cameras in Middleton Hall at the Centre MK. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
I'm being swallowed by a boa constrictor. I'm being swallowed by a boa constrictor. I'm being swallowed by a boa constrictor. And I don't like it very much. Oh no, he swallowed my toe, he swallowed my toe. Oh gee, he's up to my knee, he's up to my knee. Oh fiddle, he's reached my middle, he's reached my middle. Oh heck, he's up to my neck, he's up to my neck. Oh dread, he swallowed my...
Tell us what you're doing right now.
Wiggling it. Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. So, lots to talk about. The flag of St George, well, apparently we think it's a bit chavvy, it's a bit common. It's not racist anymore, it's a bit chavvy. And there is a point to that, isn't there? You see it hanging out of bedroom windows, out of bathroom windows, and it's dirty. And the only thing that's hanging it up there is the fact that the window is shut, trapping you there. It's horrible. It's horrible. I don't get this waving flags around thing. It's nonsense, I think.
Look, we can do it when there's a tournament, if we are showing our support. I quite like the Jubilympic spirit. It was nice to get the bunting out. It's away now. Some people have still got it hanging out there till it's tatty.
Make a flag for the human race and I'll wave that one, guys.
Oh, really?
I tell you how stupid flags are, right? And this is how stupid flags are, right? ISIS. Look at what ISIS are doing, is they are going around, they've got a flag up near the border with Turkey, near the border with Europe. It's flags. Who needs all of that jingoistic, nationalistic, religious nonsense?
There is an air of taunting about it, isn't there?
Yeah, of course, that's what flags are. This is ours, you can keep away. That's what it's for. We're coming closer to you.
I do think it's strange that we have it flying in our own country, in people's back gardens. Like, outside the back garden... It isn't England.
One thing you can say about ISIS, you don't see them hanging it from their bedroom windows. They put it on a flagpole. This is what flags are. Flags are to say, we are better than you. Our team is better than your team.
It's certainly an outward sign. To whom?
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of the flag. 08459 455 555. The shortest job you've ever had. Billy McKinley, who is a man at Watford.
Head coach.
Thank you.
Soon to be former.
He's leaving after
2 games.
8 days. That is slack. Isn't it?
Or just really bad timing.
Yeah, OK, I nearly said something told a story that I probably shouldn't tell.
Do you know what, though? It might be bad timing. It might be that this was always in the offing and he didn't realise he was going to get handed that job 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well... 08459 455 555.
I want to know what you were going to say. Tell me after.
Yeah, OK. It's just about bad timing and jobs in the offing. No. Anyway, Caroline's in Bedford. Morning, Caroline.
Good morning, Ian.
What would you like to say?
Bag hangers.
Yeah, aren't they horrible? Let's find them, let's hang them from the trees, let's shoot them, let's run through their hills with their heads on sticks saying, look at this dirty, dirty man, he's horrible, we don't want him living here.
No.
Oh.
Well, I don't know about everybody else, but I've done it.
Oh, Caroline! That's not so sweet.
No. I'll tell you the reason I've done it. Sometimes, if you know where you're walking and there are no dog bins, so what I've done is I hang it on a tree if the dog does it early, and then you pick it up on your return journey and take it home and put it in your own bin.
I bet you don't.
And a couple of times...
I bet you don't. I bet you think...
I've forgotten, but I've gone back.
Oh, exactly, you see!
I've gone back. I've actually walked all the way back and got it and put it in the bin in my own house. So I don't know what anybody else does.
Every time have you collected the whoopsie from the tree?
Yes.
Every time?
No, I have forgotten a couple of times, but I have gone back and got it.
But, Caroline, why don't you just take... Cause these are one of those little, kind of, like, really thin plastic bags, yeah?
No, this is a proper dog bag.
All right, OK, but they're thin little plastic bags, aren't they? They're like freezer bags.
But the smell actually emits out of the bag, so as you're walking along, you can still smell it.
Tough. I might bash my head on that whoopsie.
No, it won't be there. It'll be gone.
No, but you're going off for your first part of the walk before you forget to pick it up.
But no, you put it
and I'm jogging along, and it's a little bit dark. I might bump my head on your dog's poo.
No, you put it in the hedge to the left. You don't hang it in the middle of the footpath. Well, I don't. But that's what you're supposed to do.
How do you remember? You forget that you've left it there at some stage.
I tell you, the one that gets me is the people who put it in a bag and then drop it.
Oh.
And you think, what's the point in that? Because if you're not going to pick it up, the dung beetle will have it. But if you put it in a bag...
What?
It's there forever.
Why? Here's the thing. So you've got the little bag with the poo in.
Yeah.
Why don't you put that in a bigger bag, like, I don't know, a Tesco's bag? Or no, hang on, judging from your voice, maybe a Waitrose bag.
Because if you're walking several dogs, or even a big dog, then and you're carrying an umbrella, and you're carrying the dog this, the dog that...
Yeah, it's hard life, isn't it?
It's difficult to hold everything.
Yeah.
So you just put it to one side.
It's your responsibility. Don't get me started on umbrellas. I hate people who use umbrellas.
What, with a dog as well?
With anything. Listen, when I'm walking down a busy high street, when I used to live in London, I would go to Oxford Street, of all places. Oh, and I'd walk down there, and people would have umbrellas.
Get poked in the eye.
People get poked in the eye. Apparently, if I'm not holding an umbrella, it's my job to dodge your umbrella. No, if you've got an umbrella, you should be lifting, you should be sidestepping, you should be tilting it to the sides to avoid me.
And I do. If I'm carrying an umbrella,
if you remember.
Lift it up. No, I always raise my brolly.
OK, well, I'll give you that, Caroline.
But I'm sorry about the poo bag, but I do go pick it up.
Thank you very much. Do you go and collect other people's poo bags?
I have actually picked up other people's poo.
You disgust me. Thanks for calling. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. I hate umbrellas. I was going into Luton yesterday to... Get this. I was going to Luton yesterday to post some letters. One is quite big, and I need to give it to a post mistress or master to measure it and weigh it and see what stamps need to go on it. And so I'm sat there, I took my number, it was number 897, I remember it very well, and when I got there they were on 880, and they were taking their time.
Wow.
And so I waited 15 minutes, I thought, right, it got up to 891, still 6 away, and I thought, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be one of those people that's prepared. I'm going to get the letters out of my bag, so I'm ready, so I can go straight in, I'm not going to waste any time. I'd forgotten the letters.
Oh, you plum.
I was there for 15 minutes. I enjoyed it. I like sitting in the post
Good
office.
job you checked, though.
Could you imagine if I'd gone up? If I'd have gone up, I would have made something up. I said, can I post these letters? I don't have them, but I want to buy holiday insurance, please. I would have done that.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
There would have been a scene, though.
Yeah.
There would have been a right scene.
Oh, gosh. They've done up all the post offices, haven't they?
Yeah, they've now got those cashier number 5, please.
Or if it's a man, cashier number 5, please. It is. It's a bloke doing the voice for a bloke and a woman doing the voice for a woman.
I'd mix them up just to mess.
Mix it up, mash it up. I don't think anybody else has noticed. 08459 455 555. Umbrellas. That was it. Do you use an umbrella, Just?
Of course I do. I'm a man.
You offered me your umbrella yesterday.
Yeah, my Loose and Who umbrella.
I hate umbrellas.
Why? What's your beef with umbrellas?
No one knows how to use... You should have to have a licence to use umbrellas.
Your licence should be you own the pavement. There you go, job done.
No, if you've got an umbrella, it's not my responsibility to move out of the way.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to lift. You should be like that fella in Singing in the Rain, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's okay for us because we're tall, but I think shorter people, yes, they do have a problem when it comes to umbrellas.
I'm a very, very polite umbrella manipulator.
Don't use one. Also, don't use one. You're only going to get wet. It doesn't matter.
Well, especially if you're doing that thing where you're lifting it up and down all the time, you might as well just put it down.
I've got... listen, the only time I'd like to have an umbrella is when I'm caught in the rain wearing a suit. When does that happen? Not very often. Forget it.
Happened to me on the way to our awards ceremony earlier this year. I turned up. I had to go into the toilets. Yes, I looked like an idiot. I went into the toilets and put the dryer on and got into some weird shapes.
Do you know what, boys? I've got a lovely big one.
Oh,
yeah, for the school run. It's the only one that's worth having. The other ones all blow inside out. This one is a massive.
Oh yeah, no, golfing umbrella, hate it.
But it's when you've got it on, when you've got it done up. You see,
yeah.
You have to beat time on the ground with it. There's no other option. How would you hold that? How are you supposed to hold like a cane?
Don't take an umbrella.
You've got to be prepared.
No, why don't you? You're a woman. Why don't you wear one of those plastic transparent headscarves? Well, it was fine for my mum and my nan. What was your... You saying there's something wrong with my nan? She's dead. You're going to diss my dead nan on the air. That is outrageous, Catherine.
Terrible.
That attitude makes me sick. Justin, what have you been talking about?
Jobs. We have been talking about Billy McKinley this morning, the Watford manager, who's set to leave today after, 8 days in charge.
Brilliant.
Fascinating. So we got talking about short jobs, and you took a phone call from Tony at about 10 to 8 this morning, somebody who came to this country to work and to work very hard, and he was accusing English people of being lazy, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, I've taken this one to the streets, and I don't think we've ever done a feature like this before. So I've been asking foreign workers for their perception and their thoughts on English workers.
Beautiful.
I think people will certainly want to respond. Here's what happened. Madam, if you don't mind me asking, whereabouts are you from?
Slovakia.
Okay, and how long have you lived in Luton for?
4 years.
And have you got full-time work?
Yes.
Very personal questions. What do you do for a living?
I'm working in warehouse company.
Okay. An honest answer, please. Do you think that some English workers are incredibly lazy in this country?
Yes.
Tell me why.
Because they are just on the benefits and they are lazy to work. They have the chance to go for benefits and they prefer it.
So you're from Romania.
Yeah.
How long have you been living and working here in the UK?
For the last 5 years.
All going well for you?
Yeah, was good. I'm working hard for my money, so...
So in those 5 years, you've never been out of work?
Just for a short while. But I managed to do my own company, so basically I'm working for myself. I'm like a self-employed.
We had a really interesting call from Tony earlier on in the show, and I'm going to put this to you again. Be honest, just give me your honest opinion. Do you think there are a number of English people living in this country who are just lazy? They don't want to work, and if they do get a job, they would do the bare minimum.
Well, to be honest with you, some of them, they stay on benefits. For example, they have children and all that, and they just basically stay on benefits. I think that is the fault is the government fault. It's not people's fault. It's government fault because government encourage the people to stay on benefit.
Just lastly, you say you've got your own business.
Yeah.
Would you always prefer to employ a foreigner over an English person because you know that a foreigner will work harder?
Yeah. To be honest, it's like that. Yeah.
Gosh.
There you go.
What? And I can kind of see their point. I can see that to a certain extent.
He's saying what Tony didn't quite say.
Fascinating to hear it. And you mentioned about jobs locally. I was saying earlier on, there are plenty of jobs out there.
Here we go.
I've got the Luton News with me right now.
Oh, yeah.
4 pages of jobs here in the local newspaper.
Give me the
certainly jobs out there.
Give me the first 3 jobs.
OK, let me give you an example. This could well be a job for life for you, actually. Airport jobs. Start your career at Luton Airport. Long-term positions, immediate start, ramp agents, flight dispatchers. Who would want to do that? Doesn't say how much they're paying.
OK, right. Pick the job number 7 from the list.
OK, telephone interviewers. Market research. What's wrong with that? It's a job. It pays the bills. You see, you're being lazy.
It's exactly the sort of job you chucked in, Justin.
I may have chucked it in go for a job that I prefer to do. OK, here we have operations controller, full and part-time positions available.
What does that? I don't know what an operations controller is.
Experienced operation controllers to handle client bookings and vehicle operations in Luton.
I still don't know what that means. They want experience. I haven't got experience in that, so that job's out for me. Next one.
What have we got here? HGV driver?
I haven't got the licence. Next.
OK, payroll operator. Competitive rates of pay.
Oh, hang on. Because if you're on the payroll, you can fiddle it, can't you? That's one of the rules, isn't it?
Quite possibly. But cemetery and grounds administration assistant, part-time.
That means gravedigger.
I would have that.
Yeah?
I would be a gravedigger.
Rod Stewart wasn't he?
Customer service and sales advisors.
So you're working behind a till?
There's lots of jobs. I'm not saying that there are jobs out there that are going to be perfect for you. That hopefully will come at some point in the future. But to say there are no jobs out there, I've got the local paper here, 4 whole pages of jobs.
We don't know what those jobs pay, but Justin, thank you very much. Trucker Chris, stay there. We'll come to you after this.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Queuing at the moment on all approaches on the Great North Road to the Black Cat roundabout at the moment as those roadworks continue there. Take a look in Ware and the A10 heading southbound. At the moment, the entry slip road's partially blocked just at Westmill Road. There's been an accident there. The M1's looking very heavy heading southbound between junction 10 at Luton Airport Spur Road and junction 9 at Redbourne. And the M25 anti-clockwise very slow between junction 20 at Kings Langley and junction 16 the M40. The A41 also heavy on the sensors between the Hemel Hempstead turn-off and junction 20 for the M25. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Chuck. 8:46. It's Tuesday the 7th of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Watford General Hospital has failed to hit its breast cancer targets for 7 consecutive months, with more than 100 people waiting more than 2 weeks to see a specialist. New dog control orders will start in central Bedfordshire later this month in a bid to cut down on dog fouling. And in sport, Watford could be about to lose their 3rd head coach in 6 weeks. Billy McKinley looks set to leave the club after just over a week in charge. Coming up, your phone calls, but before that, let's get the weather.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. Blue sky and sunshine now. All those heavy rain clouds have moved out north and eastwards, so it is quite a bright sunny day. Fairly chilly though, will gradually warm up, feeling warmer than yesterday thanks to the arrival of the sun. We're looking at a maximum of around 15, maybe 16 Celsius. May see 1 or 2 rogue isolated showers floating across through the afternoon, but again we should get some dry spells mixed in there as well. Overnight tonight, clear at first, so temperatures dropping down fairly quickly, but then we'll see an increased amount of cloud moving in from the south, and with it the chance of maybe 1 or 2 showers first thing tomorrow morning. The minimum temperature 6 Celsius, so cloudy for Wednesday, heavy showers, slow moving showers, and a maximum temperature of 17 Celsius. And that's your forecast.
Every weekday from 12, Nick Coffer brings you
BBC Three Counties Radio. I've got some great interviews coming up. He was in the trenches in France and he was shot.
We both look at each other in amazement and can't believe how far we've come with the company, and we love it. We love every day that we do the cakes.
Nick Coffer.
We're telling people go out and find about your family story and come back and pay tribute to them in a way that is a living, breathing legacy.
Got a strong local link, hasn't it?
A strong local link.
Amy Merritt, she's originally from New Zealand, now settled in Buckinghamshire.
Nick Coffer.
I think it could be brilliant.
Weekdays from 12 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
08459 455 555. Trucker Chris. Morning, Chris.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you, boss. What you got?
Yeah, quickest jobs.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, before I went back to lorry driving, I am actually a qualified carpenter and joiner. And I went for a job with one, these people that build these mobile homes.
Oh, yeah.
I went for a job there and see the boss and everything, and he gave me an interview. He said, yeah, OK, fine, start Monday. Well, I went in on the Monday, get my tools out of the car and put them where he wanted me to. And I see the other boss that was there that should have been in with the interview, but he wasn't. He said, I understand you're a carpenter. I said, yep. I said, city and guilds and all the rest of it. He said, well, basically, all I want is somebody that can saw a straight line and hammer a nail. So I said, sorry, mate, you don't want me. And that lasted about 10 minutes. I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to drop my standards just for you.
So he wanted you to do a really basic thing, and you were a little bit more skilled than that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I've done a 5-year apprenticeship. I'm a full qualified carpenter enjoying it. I mean,
how satisfying was it, Chris, to tell him to jog on?
Very.
Yeah, it must have been.
I'm a craftsman. I mean, anybody with any sense can saw a straight line and hammer a nail.
Well, you say that. You say that. You've not seen me at work in the shed, because I can't do that.
It's easy done. It's easy done. Easy done.
Chris, listen, I'm filling for time, really. I know you don't want to talk to me, do you?
I do. And lady.
That's who you want to talk to. Go on, you talk to her.
Chris.
Hello, sweetheart. How are you? Long time no talk.
Well, I spoke to you about 2 minutes ago when I rang you up, Chris. Didn't you recognise me? I've changed my hair, that's why you didn't recognise me. Anyway, how are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Just back from holiday and been on the continent trucking, yeah.
Oh, yeah, where'd you go?
Scandinavia.
Oh, flipping hell.
Is it warm there? You've got a bit of a tan.
Yeah, it's suntan, yeah. No, you get quite a good suntan in Scandinavia this time of year.
What made you go to Scandinavia?
Hang on, let's get back in the cab. I can't hear you. I've got a wind whistling around my ear.
Oh, thanks. He's going to get in there so he can pay me more attention than he paid you. What's going on?
That's it.
There we go.
That's it.
All right, so why Scandinavia, Chris?
Yeah.
Why there? Why not Magaluf?
Nice to be back in England flying the old St George flag.
Oh, you're flying it, are you? What, from the cab?
Yeah, we got one. You got one the ADR plates.
What's an ADR plate?
You see the lorries with the orange plates on?
Oh, yeah.
Front, orange squared, yeah. That means we're carrying chemicals.
Oh, how dangerous.
Well, when ours are folded up, it means we're not carrying chemicals. They've got a little St George flag on them.
You carrying anything explosive today, Chris?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Is the music? Is that him mucking about again?
What music? Can you hear music?
God, he's a muppet, isn't he, sometimes?
So what have you got in the back today, Chris?
Coils of wire. Baling wire for the wood trade.
Oh.
That's what they do them up with, this big thick stuff. He's just unloading that at the moment, so then from there I'm going to Lidl's with a load of peanut butter.
What a load of old rubbish. He had something explosive, but I didn't want to go there.
Gosh, you don't loan me any fun, do you?
No, I do not.
You can do it right now, please.
And that's an instruction to everybody. What a boring man.
What are you talking about?
Driving around with bales of copper in his thing, and he's been to... Oh, don't.
The thick stuff as well.
Leslie's in... Yeah, exactly. Leslie's in Luton, speaking of thick stuff. Morning, Leslie.
Hello, good morning, Ian.
Good morning, Leslie. What you got for us?
Yeah, about work, yeah? I've got a friend, he works 2 jobs.
You got a friend who works 2 jobs, yes?
Yeah. He works nights and he works
Are
days.
you nervous, Leslie? You sound very nervous today. What are you doing?
No, I'm not feeling very well.
Hey, what's wrong, man? What's wrong?
No, I've got a bit of headache. I've been doing a lot of nights lately, so...
Hey, those nights can be, I don't want to say killer, because that will worry you, but they can be really draining, can't they?
Yeah, they can affect your brain or something like that.
Yeah, well, make sure you drink plenty of water. Do you meditate, Leslie?
No.
You should meditate. I've started meditating again, and it helps my headaches.
Does it now?
Yeah, I get a lot of headaches, and it helps them.
Oh, I must try that then.
You give it a go. Anyway, go on. You got a friend who works 2 jobs.
Yeah. He starts 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, finish 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then at night he comes in at night. Start at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right. Then finishes at 5 o'clock.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. Right.
Yeah.
No.
Hang on a minute.
That doesn't work. He's obviously overlapping.
He starts work at 7, finishes at 4.
Ah, right.
Then starts work at 8 and finishes at when? 5?
5 in the morning. Then he goes back to his work at 7.
Well, how is that physically possible? How is he not dead? Is it you? And is that why you got headaches?
He told when my boss found out about this. My boss said, there could be a health and safety issue. Yeah,
there could be.
And then he decided. Then he assured my boss that he will now put a hand to this double shift.
He'll put a hand to it, yeah.
But we notice he's been coming in, and when he comes in at night, he's keep on nodding off.
Have you asked him about it?
Well, I didn't ask him, but he did tell me, say, Les, I still kept my day job, I still have it.
No.
I still go into it.
And why is he doing it? Is it because he's desperate for the cash? He needs the money, or he's just greedy?
No, what he says, because he doesn't get proper pay or proper hours in the day job, so you have to take on 2 jobs.
Oh.
So I said that will kill you.
Yeah. You can't sustain that, can you, Leslie?
No, you just can't.
Unless you're a security guard, then you can have proper kip, can't you?
I'm a security guard.
No.
How long do you sleep for when you're on the job doing nights?
What you meant?
Well, when your security guards when they're doing it at night, they're allowed to have a sleep, aren't they? I always see them sleeping anyway.
Which security guard is that, and which company is that?
Well, but so how long do you sleep for then, Leslie, when you're working?
Well, I come home. Sometimes I'm home at 6 o'clock.
But when you're doing the security work, what room do you go off to have a little sneaky kip in?
No, we don't do things like that.
Okay, Leslie, of course you don't. But if you were to pick a room to have a little sneaky kip in...
No, you don't. No, you don't do things like that because you got to be up and alert all the time.
No, I know what you security guards do. You've got those scanners, haven't you? And you go around and you scan the barcodes in the room to show that you've done your little walk around. Then you're allowed to sleep for a couple of hours.
I don't do that. I cover banks and
well, don't tell us which bank, Leslie, because if everyone knows you're having a sleep, then they'll get done. Leslie, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Keep up the good work. Go and have a rest. You do sound absolutely shattered. Bless him. Don's in Milton Keynes. Good morning, Don.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you, boss. What you got?
I've just been listening to your show talking about the amount of jobs that's available. I myself am a director of a recruitment company.
Yeah.
Have been for 15 years, based in Milton Keynes, and I've noticed a lot of people have some kind of feeling towards roles that might be beneath them, or not enough jobs, or not enough pay, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The majority of the 15 years I've been doing specialist recruitment, the majority of people that we hire are not English, or say English, British people.
Yeah.
Purely down to the fact that British people want a lot more money, a lot more fussy about the role, and I'm talking high-end roles, not your high street agency type jobs. I'm talking professional computer programming, data analysts, project managers. Majority of consultants we hire are international. The only jobs that we know will give to a British person is a security cleared job. One that you need to be security cleared, so you need to be in the country for at least 3 to 5 years. Every other job goes to international.
And are you making that choice to give it to internationals, or are British people not coming forward for those jobs?
No, the British people do come forward, but 1 in 10, 1 in 15. So when we're looking at 15 different CVs, as a recruiter, it's my job to choose the best skilled, best experienced, best fit consultant for any project. And I tell you now, every single time, it's always an international consultant. You'll get a much better job, and I'm not est in any way. I'm not racist. I'm not being selective based on nationality. But I'm being selective on the person who I know will get offered.
So, Don, let me just clarify. We've only got 45 seconds left. Are you saying, just to be completely clear, are you saying one of two things? One, are you saying that there are too many foreign nationals, or that no. British people are a little bit lazy and that the foreign nationals are better at the jobs?
It's the second point,
one, I thought
100%.
So. Yeah.
100%.
Don, listen, it's right at the end of the show. Maybe next time you call in, we'll speak to you a little bit earlier, because it was an interesting point to end on, wasn't
I've made a note of Don's details.
We'll speak to Don. I thought that's what he was saying. I just wanted to be 100% clear to make sure that we were all singing from the same songbook.
Yeah. Do you want to close that now?
Yeah, sorry. That's it. That's a lot. JVS up next. Let's get the Trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the A1, the Great North Road at the moment is queuing on all approaches to the Black Cat roundabout at the moment. Take a look at the A505 heading southbound. It's partially blocked at the moment due to an overturned car there. Take a look at the M1. That's looking heavy between junction 10 at Luton Airport Spur Road and junction 9 for Redbourne. And the A41 on the sensors looking quite heavy between the Hemel Hempstead turnoff and junction 20 for the M25. The M25 itself very slow anti-clockwise between junction 20 at Kings Langley and junction 16 at the M40. And the M40 is looking heavy on camera from the Denham roundabout to the M25. And the M40 rather heavy London bound between junction 5 at Stokenchurch and junction 4 for the High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Nicola, thank you very much. Excellent stuff as per usual. Right, that's it. That's your lot. I think we got away with it one more time. Back tomorrow at 6. JVS is up next. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Justin. Thank you to everybody who gave us a call. Until tomorrow at 6 from us. Ta-ta.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon Smith. It's Tuesday. It's 9 o'clock, and on the big phone-in today, should dogs be kept on a lead in all public